fake road. Who did he see when he heard I was there? Now it seems that he should.
All right, everybody, welcome out to the Locker Room Guys Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, July the 8th, 2025. Jersey Johnny coming at you with me, as always, is none of the Mr. Beer Samurai. Say hello, Mr. Samurai.
How's it going?
Pretty good. What are you eating there? What do you got going on there?
I have got a DB's Organics Superfruit Organic Freezy Pop.
DB's Organics Superfruit Organic Freezy Pop.
Yeah, this is a blueberry pomegranate.
Very nice.
As you can see, there's like very little sugar in these things. There's as you can tell, no food coloring.
Very nice. Very
so
nice.
They're not like the ones we grew up with.
You mean like these?
Like that neon blue.
Neon blue. So this one is not organic. There's very much sugar in this. Loaded with dye and food coloring. And yeah, there you go. And it's the flavor is blue.
Blue is a flavor.
Blue is a flavor.
If you go to any Italian ice stand in New Jersey, that blue is a flavor.
Blue is a flavor.
They like to call it blue raspberry, but it doesn't taste like raspberry. It tastes like blue.
That could be the tornado.
I thought that was Jess.
No, she doesn't make it sound like that. Do you hear that?
It was thunder, wasn't it?
Oh no, it was other stuff too.
Interesting.
We are. We have a heavy thunderstorm going on here, and we're under a tornado watch. Under tornado warning.
Warning, which is worse, I believe.
It is worse. So if you hear a loud crash, you see the Dogfish Head, Neon, and my liquor go flying out the window with me following it. You know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. So anyway, why are we ahead? What?
And we'll finally catch it on video.
And we'll finally catch it on video because we missed the one of you up in Rhode Island with the.
Yep. It was just a microburst. It wasn't actually a true. I don't think it was a true
tornado.
It was a microburst that just. I was sitting under. We weren't on video. We had done back in the day. We used to do it where we did a teaser video, and then we would do the show audio only.
Right.
And I was up on the roof because at the time I lived in this loft apartment that was all brick, and I had no Wi-Fi at the time because I couldn't freaking afford it because I had just moved up there. And so I'm sitting up there, and the weather's bad, and I'm telling John, look, if the weather's not looking so good, I should probably get in soon. And then just as I said that, the table that I was sheltering under got picked up and got tossed the length of the building. This is a factory turning off, and went the length, not the width, the length
of the building. Yeah.
So if John gets chucked out the window, we'll have made up for the fact that we weren't doing video at the time, and that's actually what convinced us to do this show is video.
That's one of the things that actually brought us to doing the video. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But no, I'm eating this because it is Freezer Pop Day, right?
It's National Freezer Pop Day. Yes.
National Freezer Pop Day.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. You've seen The Dark Knight, right?
Yeah.
Christian Bale and Heath Ledger. And Heath Ledger, he starts talking about, how I got these scars. And it changes. His story changes.
Right.
These are probably how he got those damn scars, though. Because remember, they sliced the side of your face up.
Side of your face up. Yeah, absolutely.
So, I'm pretty certain this was a culprit.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm definitely having my blue flavored. Speaking of blue flavored.
Yeah.
Happy National Blueberry Day.
That's why I'm having the blueberry pomegranate, because this also comes in mango and another flavor. I can't remember what the other flavor is.
I'm indulging in my nod to blueberry in a little while.
Mm-hmm. We'll see that. We got a few other days to talk about, but we'll talk about those later. Right, as we get into it.
All right.
It's funny because right about now I'm going.
Hold on, I got to take a drink. Hold on.
Yep. That's how you finish the things, and that's usually when you would slice your mouth open.
Right. Of course.
Because you don't want anything to leak out the side. So, and then when you pull it out of your mouth, no, right about now we're both going. Now I'm thirsty, but I'm actually not thirsty. I just had a nice pop.
I just had a nice pop. Yeah.
But I do want a fucking beer.
Oh, of course. Yeah, it's time for a beer. So.
It's time for a beer. It's been a day and a half. It's been two very busy days at work.
It's been a bit. Yeah, it's been a bit. So
I'm gonna open mine and get this poured. This is from a brewery that when I went to, I was there a week before they did their first canning run.
mm-hmm.
So I couldn't bring any back. And they just recently came into New Jersey.
They did.
And I was at the Thirsty Quaker in Jersey City.
Jersey City. Yeah.
And that's where I saw it. So I had to grab it. They had this and the dark. And this is Sacred Profane's Pale Lager. They have the dark as well. They're both out. And as you can see, I'm wearing my Sacred Profane shirt. I was actually going to drink something else tonight to start with. But I reached into the closet, and then there's a couple hundred shirts in there, and I just grabbed one randomly, and this is what I grabbed. I'm like, okay, I'm changing my first beer now.
It's your first beer. No.
What are you drinking there?
Well, I'm pouring for my obligatory picture. So let me take that really quick, and then I will show you.
Yeah, take your picture. I can see what it is, and I'm glad you got the old can art.
Yeah, well, I'll show you that first, and then we'll chat. I am drinking. Let's turn your crawl off. And turn mine on. I am drinking a Gansett Lager, an Narragansett Lager. It says lager beer. It's a lager beer.
It's a lager beer,
right?
Or is it as lovingly referred to in many places, Nasty Gansett?
Nasty Gansett, right? So Narragansett. It's in this time of year. They refer back to the old packaging.
4th of July, because that's when Jaws happened.
Jaws happened, exactly. It was the 4th of July weekend in Amity.
Amity.
And they also put it in the 12 packs. They also changed their packaging too. To that.
Go. That's a shark. I know what one looks like. I've seen one up close.
Exactly.
Yeah, just like that.
Yeah.
That was Jaws. That was actually said in Jaws 2, of course.
I've heard Matt's seen a shark or two in this day.
Up close.
Yeah. And personal.
Whoa. That was a lightning strike.
For you.
Yeah.
Big storm. It's going from Belmar to Union City.
Yeah, it's gonna be here soon. It's moving. It's actually moving from west east, so it's a long storm.
Yep.
We're getting the north side of it. You're getting the heart of it again.
Yep.
Like it did last time we had a major storm.
Exactly. That's what it comes this way. But yeah, we're still under the tornado warning, so that's fun. But yeah, so this is actually a pre-prohibition style lager. Is how they build it.
Pre-prohibition.
So, yeah, and I would be remiss if I didn't show you this. I did this the other day, so I kept it for the show.
Oh, okay.
I crushed it like Quint.
Actually, you didn't crush it like Quint. Quint crushed a steel can.
That's true.
It was that, and I don't think he told them. I don't think Robert Shaw told them he was going to do that.
Uh-huh. Probably not. Which
means Dreyfus's response to do it with the coffee cup was just off the cuff. There was a lot of stuff that was just off the cuff.
Just off the cuff in that, yeah.
The most famous line from the movie was,
"We're going to need a bigger boat."
We're going to need a bigger boat. Yep.
Well, I saw a video not too long ago that says when they're all laughing, when they're in the cabin at night drinking, and they're all laughing, they're having their fun and everything else, and then all of a sudden Robert Shaw starts telling the story about being on the
USS Indianapolis
when the 1,100 men went in the water and
1,100 go in, 321 come out.
Right.
The rest go to the Sharks.
Right. They apparently, Richard Dreyfuss and Roy Scheider, were not told about that.
Well, what they were told is they originally had done the scene with Shaw drunk because they were all supposed to be drunk. Shaw was a raging alcoholic,
right?
And they said he was a perfect gentleman until his first beer, and then he was insufferable. And so they did the scene drunk, and he did it the way that the screenwriter had written it. And he didn't like it. He didn't like his performance. He didn't like that. And so he had written something, and he showed it to Spielberg, because I want to do this again. And he does it sober. So he's actually sober during that the scene.
that scene.
That's the ironic thing. The part in the movie where he's supposed to be drunk, he's actually sober. So most of the times where he's sober, he's actually drunk. So he's sober telling this story, and if you look at Dreyfuss's face,
yeah,
he's just wrapped in attention because it's the way Shaw told it. Because he was a Shakespearean actor, Shakespearean trained actor.
Mm-hmm.
But he had never heard the story told that way before.
Right.
Now, granted, it's slightly inaccurate. Most of the deaths were either by drowning or exposure or actually murder. A lot of them drank seawater, but sharks did take some of them. But most of the ones that were taken were dead already.
Mm-hmm.
So it's yeah. I do that. I watch a movie and then I read all the damn trivia about the movie on IMDb. So, and I would just watch it on 4th of July, so all this stuff's fresh. It was on. Yeah, so I won't remember it.
I just I watched it a week ago. I mean, it's been on every channel a couple of times, you know. But funny thing is, Jess, up until last summer, had never seen Jaws.
Really?
Never saw Jaws. So one Saturday night, nobody was over. We weren't doing anything that night or Sunday. I brought one of my portable TVs out to the deck, lit the fire pit, poured a couple of bourbons, and we turned it on. And I put it on and we watched it. And
good luck getting her into the water.
Yeah, right.
It's funny that I just saw an interview with Dreyfuss where he says that once he steps onto the sand, starts walking towards the ocean, he starts tensing up. Mm-hmm. And he said he won't go in beyond his chest. Mm-hmm. Because if he can't see, he doesn't want to be there. That movie scarred a generation. Actually, scarred 2 or 3 generations. Come to think of it, that was one of the. And you know what the best part about it is the way the movie is not exactly how it was meant to be.
Right.
It was, you're supposed to see the shark a whole lot more, and they had tested this thing. They built it. They tested it, but they tested it in fresh water. Mm-hmm. The saltwater thing kept breaking down, but that turned out to be the genius of the movie. Is they had to make it so you couldn't really, many scenes you had to imagine the shark.
Right.
And H.P. Lovecraft, I may have wore a shirt with him on it last show. He employed this. He knew damn well that the human brain will fill in the gaps when there's lack of data. Yep. And we can make things scarier than can be portrayed. And so it was a happy accident that the shark kept breaking down.
It was. It definitely was.
And it just turned into one of the greatest thrillers, one of the greatest movies of all time because of that.
On that note, a lot of people know this. It's not like it's anything that is unknown to people, but there's a good amount of people that don't know this out there. This was, based. It wasn't a true story. It was based on a true story that happened in New Jersey.
Yep.
Happened in Spring Lake and Matawan. And
it was a tiger shark, not a great white. Mm-hmm. So they pay homage to it in the movie because the shark that they catch is a tiger.
Tiger shark.
That shark the real shark was actually caught in Florida and shipped up. Mm-hmm. It was shipped up to Nantucket. No, Martha's Vineyard. It was Martha's Vineyard. Yeah. Evanston is the little town which takes the place of Amity. But they shipped it up there, and you could tell that it was prepared for shipping because it had no teeth.
Right.
The teeth were missing.
That was loud.
We heard that.
And light too. I don't know if you saw the flashes behind.
No, I couldn't see the flash.
It was. I mean, the flashes happened and the thunder happened, so it was right nearby. So.
Which means it's right there.
Yeah,
so we'll see. If we start hearing a freight train, we know John's bye-bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I might. Yeah. I mean, I could try and get under this desk, but I don't think this desk is going to do much for me.
No, you shouldn't be on the 2nd floor of your house if there's a tornado.
Yeah.
And you don't have a basement.
Yeah, I live at the shore. There's barely some basements, but not many.
No.
Yeah. Water table too high. Anyway, we got a couple comments.
Wait a second. Is there a Sharknado? Are you under Sharknado watch?
Maybe it's a Sharknado. Hold on, let me see. It's a shark. It is a Sharknado watch.
It's a Sharknado watch.
Yeah. So we got a couple comments here. Brian Boak says, "Cheers. Was at the Thirsty Quaker on Saturday to pick up grain and yeast to brew my Belgian saison the next day, which he did. He brewed his Belgian
And we,
saison on
we,
Sunday.
we saw the picture of his rig out.
Absolutely.
His brewing rig is one of those rigs that no home brewer should actually have, but he does.
He does. He does. And
When you got a glycol controlled jacket on your fermenter,
exactly.
you're a little bit beyond home.
He's got a small production brewery in
yeah,
his
very
house, so.
yeah. He's got a what is like a 30-barrel production brewery in there.
Pretty much. He said first beer Revolution Brewing Oak Apocalypse later.
Okay,
Barley wine aged in rye whiskey and red wine barrels.
So we can expect Brian's typing to really go downhill as the show progresses.
Exactly.
Cheers.
Well, he
man.
typed Oak Apocalypse later correctly, so we'll see.
He did. No, like I said, it's going to go downhill.
Well, yeah.
Because of Oak Apocalypse.
Because of Oak Apocalypse later. Yeah. So, anyway, cool. So, how was your Sacred Profane?
Obviously, it's better at the brewery because we've talked about this before. How they were the only American brewery to actually be allowed to use Czech tanks and have an actual tank room. It's not a tap room; it's a tank room.
It's a tank room, yeah.
It's a tank room. The lager tanks are above the bar.
Tanks.
Yep, and it's gravity fed. So it's
Tanks.
really tanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks a lot. But I remember going there, and people who've watched the show have heard John and I both bemoan the destruction of Pilsner Urquell when the Iron Curtain fell, when they ripped out the wooden barrels and all that.
Oh yeah.
And I remember going there, and I got the pail first. You do the pail first, then in the dark.
Of course.
I took one sip of the pail, and I think I welled up a little bit because it was as close to the original Urquell that I had since Urquell went bye-bye. And I've had Urquell in Czechia now. No, it's just no. Because when you go to a country, you've got to drink that country's beer. You've got to drink
that. At least it's like the country's flagship, like the most. Yeah.
Yeah, like when I go to the Netherlands later this year, I will drink
Heineken.
I will drink or maybe an Amstel Light, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe. Who knows?
Well, you know what? I mean, you got to do yourself that service, right? You got to have
because you don't know
a Heineken draft in the country that it was made in. You may sit there and say, "Yep, nope, it's the one I know," or you might say, "Holy shit, this is what it's supposed to be like."
Exactly, because they ship it in green bottles, and green glass does nothing to protect the damn beer.
No, it's all light struck.
It's all light struck. So maybe it's good. And I really, to this day, I still regret not getting a Löwenbräu when I was in Munich.
Yeah, you should have done that. Yeah.
I should have done it, and the problem is there's just too much good beer to drink.
I know, but it wasn't like you were right next to Löwenbräu or anything like that.
Yeah, I wasn't. Yes, I was. The Paul Lanner Löwenbräu Brewery is half a block from Higgins Ale Works.
Higgins Ale Works, which we did the show from. You did the show from.
Yep. Was that another rumble of thunder there?
It was. That's one by you now. That's by you.
Me.
That's you.
That's here. Yeah,
there you go.
It's another stormy day. But that went down quickly, so we're going for another one here.
Yeah, mine's only 12 ounces. So.
Yep, so is mine.
There you go. So,
we're talking about German Pilsners, so I think I'll drink a Munich Pilsner. So I think I'll drink a Munich Pilsner.
I think
this is a German Pilsner. This is German Pilsner.
Oh, German Pilsner.
And you know what? I'm going to drink this with you. I'm going to drink this. I'm going to drink this with you.
Oh, you are.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
I'm going to drink this.
I see what you did there.
That's what I did there.
You're going to drink this with you.
I'm going to drink this with you. Yes. Mm-hmm. This with you. You should say you're going to drink that with you.
You're going to drink that with you.
There you go.
There you go.
This is from Origin Beer Project. This is where Beer on Earth used to be in Providence, right across from Moniker Brewing. It's funny because Beer on Earth was there quite a while before Moniker opened. Then Moniker opens really just as COVID started. Just before COVID started. And then
Moniker's a cool space. It's small.
It's
tap room.
Their outdoor space is cool.
The outdoor space is very, very cool.
So I'm pouring it into because we're speaking about Munich, I'm pouring it into my Schneider Weiss. Don't you wish you had one of these?
I do wish I had one of those. But I do. It's over here. Actually, it's over here now.
It's over there.
right there. Yeah.
It's right back in there.
Mhm.
Wow, how'd you get one of those?
I don't know. I think it came from the same place you got yours.
Funniest thing, I want to go back soon.
I wanna go back. No.
In Chepachet, Rhode Island, there is a building. Used to be the post office, and now it's an antiques shop.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy who owns it used to collect barware.
Okay.
So he doesn't put it all out at once. And he doesn't put it out all at once. So you've got to keep going back to see what's there. And he had 2 of these and 2 of the Edelweiss glasses. Look exactly like this, but it had the Edelweiss.
Right.
And I bought one in each for myself. And I remember drinking out of these during the show, and John commented on it. So I had to go back and get the other 2. I think that was that a Christmas gift for you that year?
It was. Yep.
Put this comment up, if you would be so kind.
I will do so. Let me shut your
And
crawl off and put it up.
It's funny that I'm drinking a beer from Providence.
There you go. It's Mark McAteer. Mark, how's it going? How's it going, bud? He says, I may have to pop up in a Warsteiner Dunkel now. Mark, I think you definitely need to pop up in a Warsteiner Dunkel.
So, hey, Mark, how you
I almost
doing?
had one the other day. Mark, how's it going? Yeah, cheers. Pop it open and let us know how it is, Mark. I got to paste this right here.
Oh, wow, it's looking very dark outside, and the buildings are starting to disappear behind the sheets of rain.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm up on the 6th floor in Union City, and our windows face south, so I can see Jersey City. And right now, I can barely see Jersey City.
Yeah, I can imagine
because of the rain. When I can't see, there's these 2. Oh, there's another flash right there. So get ready for the thunder. It's coming. Remember that scene in Poltergeist?
I do.
Right, where they're counting it out. And then when it finally gets to like immediate, that's when the clown attacks him from underneath the bed. Which
I think the yeah. Well, let me put my beer up first, and then I'll tell you what I was going to say.
Okay.
So
what you do?
In honor of National Blueberry
Day. So good.
In honor of National Blueberry Day, I am drinking my favorite blueberry ale of all time. And mind you, I don't love blueberry ales, but of the ones I've had, this is my favorite blueberry.
And what's interesting about this is if you go to this brewery, I love the brewery.
Mm-hmm.
Most of their beers I'm not a huge fan of, but that one's fantastic.
Atlantic Brewing Company in Bar Harbor, Maine. It's Bar Harbor Blueberry Ale. It's fantastic.
And yep, Jersey City has now disappeared. The best part about that place is the friggin' barbecue.
Yeah.
They've got righteous barbecue up there, and it's cheap as hell.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, I was just in Austin. It doesn't compare to that, mind you. Not. But for Maine, some damn good friggin' barbecue.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So this is definitely my favorite blueberry ale. I mean, there's been others.
It's my second.
What is your first?
The one at Coddington.
I haven't had it.
Oh, they usually serve it with obviously a blueberry or 2 dropped in it, just the way they do at Atlantic.
Right.
But Atlantic uses Maine blueberries. I don't think Coddington does.
Probably not.
And a lot of people have not heard of the Rhode Island blueberry, and there's probably a reason for that.
Exactly. But you know what? I mean, Maine does have the second best blueberries in the country.
Next to New Jersey.
A
lot
of people don't realize that. They think of blueberries. Oh, yeah, Maine grows the most blueberries. Nope.
No, we do. And it depends. The thing is, it's not apples to apples. It's not even really blueberries to blueberries, even though they are blues. The Maine blueberry is really only about this big.
It's small.
It's really small, but it's packed with a shit ton of flavor.
Mm-hmm.
And the Maine blueberry will stain anything deep blue.
Yep.
Whereas the Jersey blueberry, you can get them this goddamn big.
Uh-huh.
And if you squeeze them, the juice is clear. It's not blue.
Mm-hmm.
So And the Jersey blueberry, I don't think it has as much flavor as a Maine blueberry pound.
It has good flavor, but it doesn't
Does.
have as much flavor. Yeah,
So not for nothing, I do. Yes, I'm from Jersey, but I do like Maine blueberries better.
exactly. Whatchamacallit, but what was I going to say? My close second. It is a close second, but it's gone. It won't. Nobody will ever have it again. Was Boston Beer Works? Remember Boston Beer Works?
I do remember Boston Beer Works.
They had 3 locations, but the main one was right across the street from Fenway Park, and
Yep.
their blueberry ale was a damn close second to this, and they would drop blueberries in as well. I don't think they dropped Massachusetts blueberries. Let's assume they got some Maine blueberries, but wherever they got them from, they put them in. It was fantastic too. It was very good. So kudos to that. So there you go. Mark, if you're still watching, let us know how that Warsteiner Dunkless. I actually almost had one the other day myself. So I was holding out. I'm like, I want a Dunkel, right? I got a few Dunkels that I want to have, but I know seasonal creep's coming up. We were gonna talk.
Oh yeah, we were going to discuss this.
We're gonna talk about this, but it's July 8th. Okay, summer just started 2.5 weeks ago.
And the Oktoberfests are out.
And there are breweries that have released. Now I know they've brewed them a long time ago, right? Because they take a long time to ferment their lagers, right? But there are a bunch that are already in distribution warehouses.
The question is, does a fest beer take longer, or does the
Meritzen?
The Meritzen takes longer, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can crank out a fest beer in about 6 weeks. Meritzen's about 8 or 9.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And the thing is, if the rain just started, and if you go to Oktoberfest, which I have not done yet, if you go to Oktoberfest, you're drinking fest beer. You're not drinking Meritzen.
Yeah.
There's no way you're drinking Steins of Meritzen.
No, that's not happening. No.
It's not happening. It's
too heavy of a beer. Yeah.
Heavier than the fest beer. The light. They make fun of our beer being yellow and fizzy, but the fest beer is kind of yellow and fizzy. But those are the ones you're going to drink all day, be singing Ziggy Zaggy or take
Ziggy Zaggy, oi, oi, oi.
Or Take Me Home Country Road. Did you see that video?
I did.
One of the tents, they call them tents. They're small cities. One of the tents started singing "Take Me Home Country Road." It was funny because I was at where was I? I was at a game. I forget what the game was. They start playing "Take Me Home Country Road" in the United States, and no one's singing along. So you know what? Prost to you, Germans.
Prost.
That's a beautiful thing.
Is it proper to salute Germany in any respect, like we just did with an adjuncted beer?
It's not on high school. It is a malt liquor, John.
Yes, this is true.
It is a malt liquor.
It's a malt liquor. Yep.
And if we learn anything from Higgins Ale Works, the Germans do like their adjuncted beers, and their Higgins' most sought after release every year is not a Reinheit. It's not a beer. It's a malt liquor, and it is actually their pumpkin ale.
Yes, you were telling me. Yeah.
No, I wasn't telling you.
Well, yeah.
Rob?
No.
It was Jen.
Jen was the wife, and
oh wow. Can't remember his name right now, but he was talking about the pumpkin beer and how it sells very, very well.
Jen and I could see it.
Yeah, I could see it. I could see his face. I sat next to. Actually, I sat next to Jen. He sat on the other side. Interesting. Rob, Jen and Rob.
Was it Rob?
I'm pretty
No, it wasn't Rob.
Was it Rob?
Mark McAteer said it's good and always refreshing. Yes, it's a great beer. I'm like so on the edge. I'm like, do I want to drink it? Do I? I got, because I know damn well once I start it, then the summer's over for me, and I'm gonna want more. And
Paul,
that's it. Jen and Paul. Paul Higgins.
So at any rate,
yes, Mark. Yeah, Mark, you gotta get over to town. We gotta go for a beer. Or I'll meet you over by you. Either or. But Brian says, is it pumpkin beer season yet?
Timely
I hate
comment.
pumpkin beers. Yes.
I'm with you, Brian.
But yet he'll do the show with John Starodomsky in October every year, like we do.
And they love to do this show so they can see my reaction to this.
Yeah, but you know what? He has the same 3 pumpkin beers on the show because it's the only 3 that he can stand.
No. Every now and then I get that's not true.
No,
at
yeah,
all.
you'll swap up one. You'll swap up one.
Who drank the fat orange cat pumpkin?
That's true.
IPA?
You did. I don't know why, but you did.
Oh God, I love fat orange cat, and I only have one thing to say: is why? Why would you do? It was, oh my God, that thing was awful. And I love them. I love everything they do except for that. No, there's really only three or 4 pumpkins, 5 pumpkins that I like that I can drink. There's only one that I actually truly like.
Weyerbacher Imperial Pumpkin.
No.
Oh, Warlock.
Warlock. Yeah. Imperial Pumpkin I can drink. Schlafly I can drink. The base for Warlock I can drink.
Mm-hmm.
Pumpkin. And what's one of the? It's one of the originals.
Buffalo Bills.
No, not the original.
I figured let me start here and then I can go forward.
No, it's oh man, Starodomsky raves about it every year. It's one that we can't. I don't think we can even get here. Listen, we can because I know that Cloverleaf has had it in their flight.
Oh, geez. I'm just like throwing names out there. You know, I love Whole Hog.
That's the one.
Whole Hog.
Yeah, Whole Hog.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, so there is that. But yeah, no seasonal creep. So yeah, pumpkins should be out by the end of this month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. The Oktoberfests are coming out now. And then when's your beloved celebration due?
My beloved celebration?
Mm-hmm. Sierra Nevada's celebration. Yeah.
Oh, when my beloved. I thought you were talking about like an event I had, my beloved celebration.
No.
What? October. It comes out at the end of October. You'll see it. You'll start seeing it in stores like the 2nd, 3rd week in October. I don't drink that till like I said every year
until the Christmas show.
The Christmas, the
holiday
beer show, which is 2 days before Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
I have my first can of it then, and then I have my
second can when you put the turkey in.
Now, there's a caveat for the last 3 years, though. That's the fresh New Year's version, because in 2 weeks from tonight, when we do our Christmas in July show, I will have a can of last year's celebration on the show.
I may join you in that because I still have some celebration from last year.
There you go.
So I'll probably join you in that. There is one that I did not drink last year, something that I had put aside for the show that I didn't get to because I already had enough to drink. And I will be drinking something on that show that I have constantly complained about and pissed all over. So I'll be drinking on that. It'll be a big surprise for you guys. I'm sure you can figure out which holiday beer that I really don't like that I picked up and will drink on the show. Don't say it. Don't say it. You can tell me afterward. But
all right.
Anyway. So if you haven't figured out by now, no, we are not leaving our guests in the green room.
I was going to say that
a
while ago. Yeah. You haven't figured it out by now. This is just the 2 of us show. The Beat the Heat Summer Beer News Show. So and there's a lot of other stuff we're doing.
Oh, you did read that text. Okay, good. I'm glad you got that text.
Yeah, exactly. So,
you missed the text of the first beer I'm drinking on the show.
Had to reschedule our guest tonight, literally at 5:30 this afternoon. So
yeah, so
too late to find another guest. So you got us tonight. So there you go. But it's always fun. We have some fun. We harken back to our early days of this show 5 years ago, just doing it the 2 of us. So
we're gonna hit some
that's why we love having you guys' comments. You know, Brian, Mark, anybody else, comment away. Come on, be part of the show.
The storm must have passed. I can see Jersey City again.
There you go. It's done here now too, and I'm assuming the trees are still out there. I'll have to go. Investigate afterwards.
You can check afterwards.
There you go.
See if all your neighbors are safe.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But I digress. There you go. Yeah. So, whatchamacallit? We're doing we're doing this show tonight. Brian, was reading something
Right.
right there. I was reading Brian's name right there. Dave was talking about Beat the Heat earlier. So why don't you fill us in what you were?
Well, we do these hot takes every now and then where we ask questions, but this is more just an open kind of. I'm going to bring up a topic and we'll discuss it because it was 92 degrees today. About 327% humidity.
Yeah, I think the heat index was 120. So
yeah, it was disgusting.
It was sticky. I actually walked outside several times, and from in and out to car, whatever. Every time I walk outside, I literally needed a sickle to cut through the air.
It's just it's awful. I did not leave.
Those of you that don't know what a sickle is, it's a big knife,
big curved knife. And if you put it on an end of a stick, that is what the Grim Reaper carries around.
There you go.
Just saying. So it's obviously. I don't even know if we're in the dog days of summer. I don't know if it's going to get worse or what because it's still real early July.
You know what? With this weather, I'll just call it right now. Yes, we're in the dog days of summer. That's
with a nod to Florence and her machine.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're going to talk about what we do to beat the heat, other than not leave the fucking house and stay in air conditioning the whole time. Because John and I are Gen X.
Early Gen X, but Gen X.
early Gen X. When it was hot like this back when we were kids, and trust us, it did get hot like this.
It did. It's not new. It was hot then too.
But we usually weren't allowed to stay in the house.
Get out.
Yeah. Get out. Be home when the street lights come on.
Right. And whoever's house you went to, their parents, get out.
Get out. What are you doing there?
The hose is outside. Go cool off.
Yeah, go play. Oh yeah. So the hose. That was one of the topics.
Mm-hmm.
The garden hose.
Right.
The kids today have no relation with a garden hose.
No.
Other than that, when they were little, their parents may have let them run through the sprinkler.
Right.
But we drank out of the damn thing.
That was how we got our liquid hydration.
That's how we hydrated
during the summer.
And
sometimes in the late spring and early fall too. But
so the thing about it though is you learn very quickly on a very, very hot day to give it a couple of minutes, let all the hot water come out first.
Yeah, just run it for a little bit and then drink.
And then it was cold. There were reports of people scalding themselves because they didn't wait. Mm-hmm. But you use the hose, especially had that attachment on it to get into like water fights with friends.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have the hose, so you'd win because they had their water pistols or water guns. I mean, this is before super soakers.
Mm-hmm.
They're spraying with you just go get the hose and you win. But half the time, that's what they were aiming for you hit them with a hose so they'd cool down a little bit.
Exactly.
Remember the slip and slide?
Oh yeah.
Attach that to the hose. And then you
scrape up your legs. Yeah, it was fun.
Scrape the legs. If the slip and slide didn't give enough water coverage, yeah, you'd get some plastic burn. But hey,
or you had too much water and you slipped right off the thing onto the grass. So you had grass burns, lawn burns,
or if you grew up down the shore. It's good bet that your friend's front yard was rocks or shells.
So the little
shells
or
pulverized shells,
sand and tiny little rocks. Sometimes bigger rocks, but usually tiny little rocks and sometimes shells. Yeah. I got to really put this up really quick before we get too far away from the hose. Brian said that was our portable water bottle, 100%.
Absolutely,
and everybody had one. Just go to their house. It was there. There you go. And before that, he said it's not raining in Wayne at all by him.
No, I think like I told you, we got the north end of it, and it kind of skirted. We got really the north end of it, so it's skirted south of him.
Exactly. And then Mark McAteer said he's off next week. We'll be hitting Wild Air and a few beach breweries. I'll be in contact somehow. Mark, reach out to me. Tuesday's best for me next week, but hit me up and we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But in any event, yeah, that was what we did. That was, we were outside, woke up in the morning, had breakfast, out the door.
Oh yeah.
Came home when the streetlights came on, maybe a little earlier. You
Oh,
know,
you had to go,
in the
go home
summer,
for dinner.
you had to go home for dinner, right? But you went home for dinner. You know,
How
look,
would you,
look.
how would you call home?
I don't know about anybody else, and I can't speak for every Gen Z and Gen Alpha and all of them out there, but I knew how to tell time when I was, before I even went to kindergarten.
Yeah,
I knew,
before it was on.
I knew,
Before it was on these things.
right. So we could figure out, usually by asking someone, or just looking for a clock somewhere in a store that we went into or whatever, and be home by 5 o'clock for dinner, be home by 5:30 for dinner. We went home, ate, and went back out,
So
and
you
then
didn't.
get home.
So you didn't get called. See, my mom had this. She could do the.
No, if we were out in the back or at a neighbor's house or nearby, we gotta, it was usually my father, one of those.
Actually,
But if I was like blocks away at a friend's house, no, we weren't getting called by that.
my mom had the best device to get us home for dinner.
What's that?
Ebony,
Okay.
the little black shepherd that was. Ebony was her right hand dog.
So if you were blocks away at a friend's house and you heard Ebony barking.
No. Ebony knew where you were at all times.
Oh, Ebony went and got you.
He went and got you.
Oh, there you
My little brother made the mistake once of ignoring her.
Mhm.
Because in Ebony's mind, if you're ignoring me,
Mhm.
you're ignoring the boss.
Mhm.
Ebony grabbed his pant leg and dragged him home.
That's great.
Ebony, I swear to God, this dog understood English. If my mom gave her a command.
I could see Brian being dragged by a dog. I could see that.
No, that's not my little brother. That was Malcolm.
Oh, your little brother. I heard brother, so I just assumed you were talking about Brian.
No, and so Ebony dragged him home. Now, granted, he didn't fall down and she just dragged him like that. No, he had to hop on one leg while she pulled his leg.
Actually, I would. Now I can't get the picture of Brian being dragged by a dog.
No, that dog was something else. But that was her mechanism to get us home. And you go home, you have dinner, and I don't know about you, but I'm a very fast eater because of that. Because you couldn't go back outside until you finished dinner.
Yeah, you finish it up, eat, get the hell out, and go back out. Yeah. Couple things to catch up on really quick. Hold that thought. Mark Rectier said, "Sounds good, John. Absolutely, Mark. Hit me up, and we'll definitely put it together." Brian said, "We did not have street lights, but I know when to go home." All right,
it's starting.
New or no? Now, all right, there you go. Well, a little of both, probably. All right, so, and then he said, "We went on bike ride adventures. Largest adventure was when we got about 1/3 of the way across the Tappan Zee Bridge before we got caught."
That is the one thing I saw a statement once about Gen X that we went further on our bikes than our parents ever knew, and nothing was ever true.
Hell yeah.
Nothing they gave us a radius. Don't go past here. Don't go past here. Don't go past here. What daily basis we broke that.
We broke that law every day. Please.
It was something else. Man, we were constantly on our bikes.
There's something to there quite literally is something to the phrase latchkey kids. So
yeah. Oh, and put it this way.
Put it that way.
That our parents didn't care what the hell we were doing, that the television had to remind them that they had children.
Yes. It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
And half the parents were like, "Oh, fuck the kids." Crap. They're supposed to be home.
I'm sure there was some like, nope.
And I don't care. But you got to remember,
they'll be home. They'll be home.
Probably about 1/4 to 1/3% of our parents were probably in Valium hazes. Mm-hmm. Valium was the big thing of the day. Mm-hmm. What was the Rolling Stones wrote about that? Mother's Little Helper.
Little Helper.
It's about Valium.
Little Helper, yeah. Exactly. And Brian just said there's no bike lanes on the Tappan Zee Bridge.
No, I wouldn't think so.
Not quite. Nope.
I mean the Mario Cuomo Bridge?
Mario Cuomo Bridge, yeah.
The Tappan Zee's in the fucking Hudson right now.
Mm-hmm.
They blew that fucker up.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, you're right. It's down there. Just blew it up and sank it.
Bye-bye. Oh, man.
That was fun. But you know what? That brings me to think about, we're talking about summer, what we did back then. And, and I'm even going way back with this. I'm going to bring up. I'm going way back before us. Even probably before most of our parents too. the song, like we talk about the dog days of summer, right? And then what was that song? That old, it's probably I'm going to guess it's from the 20s, if not before, the teens, the lazy, hazy, crazy days of summer.
Okay.
Okay, that song, you know.
Yeah.
Roll out those lazy, hazy, crazy days of summer. The days of soda and pretzels and beer. So even then.
Oh, it's clearing up now. I can really see Jersey City now, so it's pretty clear out there. So yeah, that was the thing. You know, we talked about the hoses.
Yeah.
And we started off with the freezer pops.
Yes.
Right. Mm-hmm. And you know, we had the ice cream truck.
Oh yeah. Oh, you can't.
They still have them.
Oh yeah. No, they're still around. There's one that comes around here. I mean, they were much more prevalent back in the day because there were more than one. Right. If you missed one. There was others. There was a couple. There was a few in each town. Now you're lucky if you have the one that visits your town once a week.
Well, most of them are smart and they just park next to the playgrounds.
There are a few that do that too. Yeah, there are.
I know we were in Jersey City by the reservoir, and there is a reservoir in Jersey City. You wouldn't know it if you walked past it.
It's there.
You have to walk up because it's there. But it's near this park, and there's this kids park there. Ice cream trucks parked right there. Smart. Don't waste the gas.
Just park and let the kids come to you. Exactly.
Yep.
What was your favorite? What was your go-to for the ice cream truck? For the ice cream man. Stop you when I'm passing by.
Okay, David Lee Roth. And not the original, of course.
No. That was a redo. There was a lot of covers on Van Halen.
A lot of covers on that. Roy Orbison cover. There was Beach Boys.
That's crazy.
Anyway, actually, believe it or not, it wasn't ice cream that I'd always get at the ice cream truck.
Push up?
No, that's not it. Well, yes, technically.
It's ice cream and sherbet.
It's ice cream adjacent.
It was the ice cream adjacent. It was like the original Rita's, right?
Well, what they say, when we were kids, they shoved ice cream in a toilet paper roll and handed it to us. It was a freaking toilet paper roll.
Yeah, that's what it was. Push up was a toilet paper roll
with ice cream in it, with a plunger.
Let's just hope that they were fresh toilet paper rolls.
God, I hope so. Yeah. No, actually, I would get the Fun Dip.
Oh yeah,
I would always I love the Fun Dip. But if it wasn't for the Fun Dip, if I actually got ice cream, it was the Good Humor chocolate eclair.
Chocolate eclair was good. My go-to was toasted almond. That was just, I love the flavor. That was my go-to, toasted almond.
The only reason
I got others. I got the chocolate eclair a lot. Probably my set price, probably the second most, because that piece of chocolate in the middle.
That's why I'd always get the chocolate eclair opposed to the toasted almond, because the toasted almond didn't have that. Yeah. Two of them did have that chocolate center.
Right.
As this hard chocolate center you break your damn teeth on, but it was delicious. Was the chocolate eclair, and then there was just the normal chocolate covered, with the vanilla ice cream with the chocolate center.
With the chocolate center, yeah. So, but Brian just said, and I love this comment. Okay, here we go. I was an ice cream man for a summer driving an ice cream truck.
Oh,
Brian,
that's
all right.
That's awesome.
I'm telling you what you need to do now, and you can do it once. But you need to figure this out. You need to be an ice cream man, an ice cream truck with beer.
Yeah.
All right. Because I need to take a picture of you in the beer man truck.
Please tell me you were a Good Humor man.
Please. I'm not even kidding, Brian. I'll help you do it. We need to do this. We have to do this.
I can't now not picture Brian in a Good Humor man with the hat
and
everything.
I love it.
And remember the little change thing?
Oh yeah, quarters, dimes, nickels, pennies. Absolutely.
And they could do it without looking. They knew exactly.
I love it. Thank you for sharing that. I love it. And I'm not even kidding about that beer man thing. We have to make that happen. I will help. We need to do
awesome.
This. Brian's favorite was strawberry shortcake.
Yeah, that was.
I had a strawberry shortcake. Yeah, I did.
That's what my mom's favorite. My mom loved the strawberry shortcake.
Yeah, I mean, look, think back to when you were a kid, right?
Which means I wasn't allowed to have any.
No, it's not even that. But think back to when you were a kid, right? You go up with a bunch of your friends. You go up to the ice cream man. Are you ordering strawberry shortcake?
No,
not happening.
And it wasn't because strawberry shortcake was a doll when we were a kid, because it was our kids that had strawberry shortcake as a doll.
No, it was just that strawberry shortcake. It was a girl's flavor, right?
Well, there's that too. Yes.
He has no uniform, but did have the change machine.
You got change.
Love it.
The belt.
So,
So there's that. Now,
Before you move on to that, keep that in mind. Are you ready for your third?
I am.
I am ready for my third. What's your third?
My third is from one of my favorite breweries in the Northeast.
Mm-hmm.
Probably for me, just 1/8 of a run below Schilling. And that's Fox Farm.
Yeah.
And this is Dwell. This is one of my favorite pale ales in the country.
Okay.
Dwell is an amazing beer.
I got the. I'll click the whatchamacallit on in a second. The crawl on in a second, but I got a pinwheel. So
Yeah, I was gonna say you have frozen.
yeah,
you're
I'm
unfrozen.
fine now. Yeah, the pinwheel stopped, so I unfroze. So,
Yes.
yeah.
So what is your third? I can see it over there. I
Well,
know.
you know what it is, but
I'll show everybody else.
let me
And
just
look,
put
I
your.
put it in my Duvel.
Oh, nice.
Year of the Dragon glass.
There you go. That's yours. There you go.
Yeah, that is mine. Oh my god, I love this beer.
So I got this. I got this last week, or actually a week and a half ago. I was going to have it last week on the show. I'm like, no, we did what we did on the show last week
Yep.
with the Fox Farm beers and the pivotal that you brought back. But I had to have it this week, so I am drinking.
Well, it's best drink as fresh as possible.
Of course. And there you go. That's it right there.
This is an other half.
Other half. First
Double-
IPA I've had on the show in a while.
I can't remember the last IPA I had on the show, and this is an APA, not an IPA.
No. And this is a double IPA.
Oh yeah, no. I didn't I have a 90-minute on the show?
You did. You had a 90.
Yeah, I had a 90-minute on. 90
Well,
minute.
I will tell you this is, it's billed as a double dry hopped hazy double India Pale Ale, but it's 7%. So we use that double term loosely,
About 16 hops in it.
Yeah. Hold on, so it's got to take my obligatory picture. There we go. I can check in later, and
Yeah,
yeah. So there you go, Green City from Other Half, right there.
Yeah.
So cheers.
God, I love this beer. It's such a yums. Okay, so now.
Yep, that's an IPA.
Back to the summer stuff.
Back to summer. Back to the lazy, hazy, crazy days of summer.
So one thing that's very prevalent in the tri-state area, and it's many places across the country, ice, right? Flavored ice, but it's different. Like what Pittsburgh has the Polish ice, right? We have Italian ice,
right?
No, we have Ritas.
Polish water ice. Remember, it's not just Polish ice; it's Polish water ice.
And Philly just calls it Philly water ice, or just water ice.
It's just water ice, yeah.
Yeah, just water ice. We call it Italian ice.
No, actually, they call it water ice, but that's besides the point.
Water ice.
Water ice.
I still don't know what the fuck John means or how to use it properly.
John it's a thing. It's a noun. It's a
check
out this John.
So they've got water ice, they got some John, whatever. But we got Italian ice in New Jersey. Did you have an Italian ice go to?
As a kid?
Yeah.
Oh, flavor or place?
Place,
yeah. Yeah.
What was that in up North Arlington area or
Lyndhurst?
In Lyndhurst.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, do you remember what it was called?
Yeah. Lyndhurst Italian ice. Lyndhurst.
That's a clever name, right?
Clever name. Actually, but I might have had another name at one point, but it's Lyndhurst Pastry Shop, and there was an Italian ice stand right next to it.
So with this, I had a friend who lived in Clifton, and we used to go to, I think it was Mario's for pizza. Mario's was really, really kind of cool because we suspected something at one point because we noticed that if you ordered a medium pie rather than a large pie,
mm-hmm.
the edges were turned up in the box. So one time we ordered a large and a medium, took them out and measured them across. They were the same exact fucking size. We were only ordering the box size. Mm-hmm. But anyway, across the street from them was Cosmos. Right off Van. Oh shit! the main road that goes through Clifton,
Van Houten.
Van Houten, right off Van Houten,
Mhm.
right near Mario's. And we'd go there, and they had blue. As one of the flavors.
Blue is a great flavor.
Yeah, I always went for chocolate though. I always went for the chocolate ice.
Mhm.
Oh,
I did too. I not all the time. I did. I had it on occasion.
sometimes I do cherry. Sometimes I do pineapple.
I actually got
Coconut too.
weird. I got lemon a lot. I love the lemon.
That's more of an adult flavor. So
Yeah.
Old Soul.
Yeah, I love the lemon, but I did get cherry, because it's
And
cherry, right?
lemon cherry together was
Lemon
always-
cherry together. When you
If I
found a place
ever-
that actually did that mixed them, yeah, absolutely.
If I ever had lemon, it was always mixed with cherry.
Hmm.
Sometimes I do cherry and chocolate together. Sometimes I do coconut and chocolate together. Sometimes I
And it's
do...
weird too, right? You think about it, right? Lemon and chocolate do not go.
No, not
But
at all.
cherry mixed with lemon's fantastic. Cherry mixed with chocolate's fantastic.
Yeah, it's
Cherry, the versatile flavor.
it is the Italian ice lubricant. Take that however you want to take that.
Take that however you want to take that. Exactly.
Now another establishment, very endemic to our area, mostly Jersey, but also New York. Got out to Queens. They actually were in the old Shea Stadium. I don't know if they're in. I think they're in City too. Carvel.
Oh yeah,
What was your favorite thing to get at Carvel?
Fudgy the Whale.
Fudgy the Whale. Okay, you ate the whole Fudgy the Whale yourself.
100%.
If you were just going to get something to eat for yourself, what would you get there? Would you get this? Would you get the soft? Would you get the hard?
I would get a
flying
soft.
saucer?
I would get a soft cone. I get a flying saucer. You know what? Most of the time we got flying saucers. We went up and we bought a pack of flying saucers. Then we went home and we had.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
It's rare that you would order a flying saucer wine.
Yeah, if we were just getting something to eat there, it's a soft cone. Yeah.
Actually,
But we had a Carvel, but we had more often than not. We went to our Dairy Queen.
of course, Dairy Queen's more national, so we're talking about Carvel.
Mhm.
Hasbrook Heights, their Carvel actually still has the old sign with the two cones.
Yeah,
That old style sign.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
I don't know if they turn anymore like they used to. The only other place that I knew had that, and the last time I drove past it, I was really upset because it's gone. That was the one in Freehold, right, not too far from the Circle. Their old sign's gone.
Are you talking about Circus?
No. I'm talking about the Carvel.
Oh, the Carvel. Oh, the Carvel. Yeah.
Yeah, that old sign, that's gone. But no, what I would always get there is I'd get the Tropical Sundae.
Yep.
So the Tropical Sundae had the pineapple topping, it had the shredded coconut on it, but I'd always have them put hot fudge on it. It didn't come with hot fudge, so
Nope.
it's give me a Tropical Sundae with the hot fudge.
I love the hot fudge. I would get anything at other than a soft cone.
Yeah.
Like we're just getting have a soft cone or whatever. Dairy Queen I'm talking about. No matter what Sunday it was, whether it had hot fudge on it or not, I got hot fudge on it.
I just give me extra hot fudge.
Yeah, just throw it.
Well, Dairy Queen, I always like the blizzards at Dairy Queen.
Yeah, no, the blizzards were great. They were.
And then their equivalent, I mean, another New Jersey establishment was Thomas Sweets.
Yeah.
And the Mixins.
Yep.
Oh, love the Mixins. You ordered your base ice cream, then you ordered your. I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago.
We did, yeah.
Last week, right?
We did a couple weeks ago. We did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but in North Jersey, we had, and it was only one place. And if anybody was anywhere near North Jersey back in the day, you remember Jan's. Jan's.
see, I didn't know it.
Jan's was actually in Fairlawn. It was right outside of Paramus in Fairlawn on Route 4. And in fact, if you're up in, if you know the area I'm talking about, River Palm is there now.
Okay.
But it was Jan's. It was basic. I mean, you had food there, but as many times as over the years as when I was a kid, I ever went to Jan's. I don't think I ate anything there other than ice cream. And 90% of the people in there, you could have burgers and you could have other stuff. But it was
So you got to remember.
you can get the kitchen sink in there. That was the whole thing. Like,
one of those kitchen things.
yeah,
Yeah.
big thing in there.
Well,
They had an actual operating Nickelodeon in the front too.
Did you ever go to Applegate Farms and buy the farm?
Of course.
Got to do that.
Of course.
Not a huge fan of their ice cream, actually, per se. There's so much better ice cream in Jersey as far as I'm concerned. But if you remember, I grew up, Southern Monmouth County, Northern Ocean County.
Mm-hmm.
So Jersey Freeze was our go-to.
Jersey Freeze, sure.
And then there was the one that was right off the wall.
I just had Jersey Freeze the other day.
What was the one that was just off? It's not there anymore. It's a Cluck You Chicken. No, the Cluck You's in the other building. I forget what it is now, but there was an ice cream place. It was one of the first places you can get a dipped cone.
Off the circle.
Off the wall circle. Yeah.
Well, there's I'm trying to remember what you're talking about. We talked about this a couple years ago.
And someone actually came up and told them.
Yeah.
Brought it up.
I'm trying to remember what it was. Because I remember it, but I was trying to remember what it was. And I know Jess's cousin, I believe, actually worked there when she was a kid. But there's a Sundays there now.
No, Sundays is across the street from it.
It's across the street from where it was. It's right there.
Yeah, across the street. The building's still there. It's something else. And behind it is actually a Cluck You Chicken.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot what it was called, but we go there a lot as well. But of course, then there's the place in Point Pleasant.
Yeah. Hoffman's.
Mm-hmm. And this year I took Carrie to Hoffman's for the first time. 2
locations. Point Pleasant is the original, and there's one literally 8 blocks that way.
Yeah, you're not too far from
Spring Lake. Yeah.
I took her to Hoffman's for the first time. She's like, "This is why you're just now taking me here." She took one bite of the ice cream, but Hoffman's, I think, is my second favorite ice cream in New Jersey.
Hoffman's is very good. We do go to Hoffman's quite often, but we have 2 locations of Coney Island waffle ice cream.
Yeah, that's a different thing.
In Belmar here, and we have one right on Ocean Avenue across from the beach, and then one up on Main Street. And I mean, they're easy to walk too, right? So we have to drive if we're going to Hoffman's.
Of course,
we can walk if we're.
But I think the best ice cream in New Jersey is, if you've ever been to Cliff's, up near Hapatcon.
Cliff's is good. I've only been there a couple of times, but you're right; it's fantastic ice cream.
It's just amazing homemade ice cream. Their flavors are just ingenious.
If we're talking ice cream, I just have to check one thing. If we're talking ice cream in New Jersey, I'd be remiss if I did not throw a nod.
To whom? Who are you throwing a nod to? John's, for those who are listening, trying to kill time while John goes through his gallery on his phone to find the picture he's looking for.
The one I'm looking for.
Which, if you are listening to the show, will be nothing to you because you won't be able to see the photo.
Well, no, because I always say the time that we did it in the show. So.
Well, yeah, if they want to see it. But I'm running out of shit to talk about while you you better find this real fucking quick. I'm moving on to the next topic, John.
I mean, you could do that. I would.
And you can come back to it.
Never. I can't find the picture. Just Van Dyke's ice cream in Glen Rock.
I've never been.
Yeah,
never been. Heard about it, but never been. Do you have any friends with a pool growing up?
We had a pool.
You had a pool. My grandparents had a pool. The back.
My friends I had 2 friends with pools too. We rotated between my pool and their pools.
My mother's backyard when we lived in Bricktown was a pool. It was a cesspool that overflowed a lot.
A cesspool.
So we didn't swim in that.
What a shitty way to swim! I swear.
But my grandparents had a pool. They even had a slide that occasionally the water thing would work. Otherwise, you just get stuck halfway.
Occasionally, yeah. Exactly.
No, my brother and I would have contests swimming back and forth underwater to see who could do the full length and back underwater.
In the cesspool?
No. my grandparents' pool.
I'm kidding. I know. That's funny. Yeah, no, we did. We had a pool above ground. We didn't have a.
Oh no, my grandparents had an in ground.
Yeah, we had an above ground. Big one.
It
was literally probably 80. It was.
And I have an 80.
It was probably you have an in ground.
No, ingrown. I should probably get the clippers and take care of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, not in ground and ingrown.
Yeah. Anyway.
No, it was probably 60% of our backyard was our pool. It was a decent size, but above ground.
Yeah.
But what my father did too, when he had it installed, he like dug down, so it was 4 feet on the edges, but it was actually 6 feet in the middle.
Oh, cool.
So it dug down 2 feet.
So the deep end was the middle.
The deep end was the middle. So yeah,
very cool.
But,
because a lot of towns had like the public pools, the town pools.
Yeah. Well, we had that in Fairlawn. When I lived in Fairlawn, we had 2 pools in Fairlawn. We had the Memorial Pool and Walsh Pool, and Memorial Pool, and both of them were not pools. They were not, in-ground concrete liner or whatever kind of pools. They were lakes, man-made lakes, basically.
Well,
we had sand into.
Oh no, we had an actual lake. When my kids were young, when we lived at Lincoln Park had a lake.
Sure. Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
And they go to the lake all the time. I wouldn't go with them because there's so many people from town that you did not want to see in bikinis.
Yeah, not so much. But
No.
Memorial Pool's still there, but Walsh Pool's gone. They got rid of it.
Well, I know Union City's got a pool. Weehawken's got a whole like water complex now. But Weehawken, they're like, you better be from Weehawken, otherwise they're going to turn you over to ice or something. They're just Weehawken. So there's a path that goes along the water that goes from, it's like Jersey City. It goes all the way up to and past Fort Lee.
Yep.
Until you start getting to the Palisades. Nice. And Weehawken shuts theirs down at night.
Yes, they do.
They're the only ones that do it. Everyone else leaves theirs open and accessible to everybody at all hours. Weehawken, little snobby.
Remember that because I used to have an office our offices are at.
Just because you're mentioning the musical Hamilton doesn't give you the food.
Our office. We used to have our offices in for an ad agency I was partners in. We had in Edgewater, and we were Edgewater's just north of North Bergen there along the Hudson, and we were in an old converted warehouse. Great, loved that office. Loved those offices. Exposed brick every room. I loved it. I'll wax nostalgic about that all the time, but it was right there. And yeah, you're right. The path came straight up, but Weehawken was the only one that shut it down.
Yeah, and they're really annoying like that.
We catch up on a couple of comments here. Brian, which we call it, he said, going back to the ice cream, he said creamsicle was his second go-to. Then he said, I'm still on my first, but mine was a 3-for-1 deal. His barley wine.
Yeah, this is
100%.
true.
And then I'll jump over one comment, and he said, second beer is my keg. That is a blend of my stout, second runnings, and the English mild. We had that a couple weeks ago. We're going to talk, Brian. We were talking about we were discussing talking about the other.
We're talking about talking about what we talked about.
What we talked about and talking about
when we talk about the Giants during the kickoff thing.
When we talk about when you're on the tailgate show, we'll talk about the visit. The visit, yeah, exactly. And then he said,
and maybe we'll do another one before that. Who knows?
We could do that too. My wife grew up in Clifton forever ago, and her go-to place was Howard Johnson. Howard Johnson's right on 3.
Yeah.
Hojo's right on 3.
Oh, and another one was remember Friendly's.
Friendly's, absolutely.
It's the only
get a fribble. Get a fribble.
You can get a fribble, or you can be underage and still get a happy ending.
Yeah. I see what you did there. But let me tell you something. Growing up in Southern Bergen County in North Arlington, to be exact,
you can get a happy ending no matter where you are.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
We weren't too far away from Bloomfield, and Bloomfield's right there. And obviously, Brian, your wife wasn't too far away in Clifton from Bloomfield. It's basically right next door. But we always went to Holstein's, and if you remember Holstein's, for those of you that don't know the name Holstein's, which is in Bloomfield.
Type of cow, isn't
it? It's a type of cow, yeah. But it was also the place in. It was also the place that was the last location for filming for The Sopranos.
Ah, that Holstein's.
That Holstein's, and the table that Tony and Carmela and AJ and Meadow sat in for that last scene in the Sopranos series. That was our table. We sat at that table all the time. I grew up sitting at that table at Holstein's. Bless you. Anyway,
Friendly's.
Hold on. There's 2 more comments.
But real quick, what I loved about Friendly's.
Go ahead.
The clam boat. They had really good fried clams.
You know what? You're not wrong. That is true.
They had really good fried clams. They set me up to go to many places and go, these clams suck. Because their fried clams are damn good.
Yeah, Friendly's fried clams were actually were they the best fried clams I ever had? Absolutely not. But they were pretty damn good.
No. You there's a place in the best fried clams I ever had is a place in Mystic, Connecticut. I can't remember the name of it right now, but I'll remember. Go through his.
Yeah, Brian just said we belonged to a pool club and had a friend with a pool. We belonged to a pool club and had a friend with a pool. Next to our pool club was a broken down castle. We had a lot of fun in it. And you know what? I mean, I'm going to go back to there was a lot of lakes, if you remember, back in the day in Newer Jersey. I can't speak for I knew places in Central Jersey and down here at the shore and that, but we did a lot of stuff in North Jersey because I grew up in North Jersey, right? But Suntan Lake in Wayne, I think it was probably in Butler, but I think it was in Wayne.
No, I think it was Wayne.
It was Wayne, yeah. Suntan Lake and Wayne. There was another one. Suntan Lake was on one side. There was another lake on the other side. I can't remember the name of it. Went to both. And
the other side of 23, right?
The other side 23. And then there was Arcola up in Paramus, too.
And don't forget Traction Park.
Oh, well, Traction Park. Who our age doesn't have fond memories of Traction Park?
Going to the Cannonball and just looking for the wedgies.
Okay, exactly. And Brian said, yes, Holsteins, 100%. There you go. So we're caught up on comments now.
Oh, man. Sea Swirl in Mystic. Absolutely the best.
Sea Swirl?
Sea Swirl. So if you ever get there.
Never went to Sea Swirl. Been to Mystic. Never went to Sea Swirl. But in Saybrook.
No, Saybrook.
The old Saybrook Fish House. Amazing seafood.
Never been there.
Amazing seafood.
Best fried clams I ever had with Sea Swirl.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So
cool. Well, we've given you a lot of places to eat, both food and ice cream tonight. We talked about beer, so I think it's only fitting that we digress
into.
Suntan, yeah, he's right. Suntan Lake was in Riverdale. You're right. Brian? What was the one on the other side of 23? Suntan Lake was on one side. There was another one on. It was the. All right.
It was near the ski place, wasn't it?
They were next to each other. They were right across from each other, not too within a mile. There was an entrance to one, and then you went up, and there was an entrance to another.
Right.
One of them is where the Home Depot and the Walmart are right now. That was one of them. I forget whether that was Suntan Lake or the other one. I literally it's so long ago, right? It's 50 something years ago. So, but one of them is where Home Depot and Walmart is. And the other one was on the other side. And I think Suntan Lake was on the other side. What was the one that was where Home Depot and Walmart was?
Well, I didn't grow up there, so I couldn't tell you. I could ask my friend Bill, but
yeah, I can send a text to somebody and find out.
So,
but in any event, so I said it's only fitting that we digress into one of the other days that it was.
So you're talking about doing the top three?
I mean, we could. We don't have to.
Oh no. Then what were you digressing into?
No, I was digressing into the top three, but we don't have to if you don't want to.
Well, no. I was just because we were saving it for the top three. But you said you had some questions as well, some topics to discuss.
Oh, you know what? You're right. I do have not some questions, but I have some hot takes. But let me just post this right here. Let me put up the comment while I post. Valley Spring Lake. That's right. He's right. That's it. It was Valley Spring. And I take that back. Suntan Lake was where Home Depot
that's what I figured.
And Walmart is. Valley Spring Lake was the one on the other side of 23. Am I right, Brian? I'm pretty sure that's true.
And not too far from there was a safari. Wasn't there?
You know what? You might be right.
There was a safari up there.
Yeah. You're right. You might be right. Yeah.
No, I know I'm right. I just came up with the name of it, but there was a safari up in that area as well. And there's also the Nike missile sites.
Well, yeah, that too. Yeah,
they're still there. They just don't have the warheads in them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell was the name of the safari place?
He said yes. I'm assuming he's referring to what I asked him. Yes, Suntan Lake was by Home Depot and Walmart, and
I can't remember the name of the safari now. Oh, what the hell was it?
I could see it actually.
I can see their ads.
Yeah.
And
I got a question for both of you. This has nothing to do with summer. This has nothing to do with lakes. This has nothing to do with swimming. This has nothing to do with ice cream.
It was called Jungle Habitat.
Jungle Habitat. Yes, you are correct. But on 23, heading up. Okay, and this brings us back to beer to a point, right? But it's German food, really. What was the name of the German place going up 23?
You mean Triangle Hofbrau?
No, Triangle Hofbrau was the other
It
one.
was Triangle Hofbrau was
Triangle
on
Hofbrau.
23.
No, it was there.
on
It was there.
23.
Further up. Further up.
Further up. It was something
Started with a J.
Yeah, it was it was on the right-hand side just as it came down to one lane.
Started with a J. I'm gonna wait and see if Brian comments.
Yeah, and it was one of the signs that said Gruel and Grog. On one of their signs.
It was the bigger of the places. Triangle Hofbrau was smaller. It was good. It wasn't small, but it was smaller than this place.
And that became a Tiff's, a Tiffany's. Then
that became Tiff's. That became Tiff's.
And then now it's.
I'm going all the way up. I'm talking like we're going up towards. We're going up towards Franklin.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's right before the.
On the right hand side, you're right, going north.
Right, you're going north just before you got to the reservoirs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a picture. White building. Massive parking lot.
Huge parking lot.
It was huge.
Huge.
Greatest parking lot everyone
huge. Exactly. All right, I'll just say it instead of waiting. I'm not sure if Brian's commenting or not. Jorgensen's.
Never ate there. Passed it a lot.
Mm-hmm. Great place. And then of course there was the one in North Bergen.
North Bergen,
right off of 495, literally right off of 495.
A German place?
Yeah, it's still there.
There's a German place off of 495.
Yeah, they don't do a lot there, but they do have Oktoberfest celebrations there. They do.
You said do.
They do. I said do. They do. Triangle Hofbrau was in Pequannock. Yes. Triangle Hofbrau was where Tiff's in Pequannock is now. That's where Triangle Hofbrau.
No. I believe it's an Indian restaurant now. I think Tiff's is closed.
Oh, you're right. Yes, Tiff's closed. And
it's an Indian restaurant now.
Whatchamacallit? It
there's a German place off of 495. 495 is not that fucking big.
It's all right. I'll say what I was about to say last, but they do have there's a hall there. They have weddings there. They do Oktoberfest and they do German food there. And right outside, it's a park.
Is that the retirement? No, that's a retirement.
No. It's near Schutzen Park.
No, that is the retirement home.
Well, yeah.
That's where I thought you were going. It's a retirement home.
The hall is not the retirement home. The hall is next to the park.
The old building is the retirement home.
Oh,
the original Schutzen is a retirement. Carrie and I just walked past it. We were just talking about it like 2 days ago.
How many times I've eaten sauerbraten in there for Oktoberfest celebration?
No, I wasn't with you, so I wasn't counting, and I probably wouldn't care to count.
There you go.
Or also how many trips you took to the toilet after eating a lot of sauerbraten.
Well, I mean,
once that vinegar hits,
what other good thing is there to do after eating a lot of sauerbraten? I mean, come on,
man, that stuff will run right through you. That stuff, and the thing is, if you just go about another 8 blocks, you're at White Castle, so you can just really clean yourself out.
No. Look, those of you, Dave makes fun of that, and he's not wrong, right? But White Castle goes through a lot faster than sauerbraten does. So
love them both, though.
Just saying,
love them both.
All right.
So when you went to an Oktoberfest and you didn't have brats, you probably had brats and sauerbraten.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think?
Okay,
you think I'm eating one meal?
Just checking.
I mean,
just
come
checking,
on.
Just checking.
Right. I had brats. I had brats on Sunday.
You made them yourself, or would you?
I made them myself, and there's.
I smell it.
I took a picture. I took a picture of it before I put anything else on it, but it was. I parboiled it with onions and sauerkraut and beer and everything else, and then we finished it on the grill. I took it off, put it on a bun, didn't put anything else on it, but I took a picture at that point. So there it is. Right there.
That's a thing of beauty. And if you've got the time, you take once you take the brats out, you boil that liquid down.
Of course.
Let those onions caramelize, and you put that on your. I don't like onions, but I will do that every now and then. Mm-hmm. And if you
always say that, we always talk about that during Oktoberfest.
And if
you don't like onions, but except for brats,
I will do that occasionally. And if you want to make it kind of the spritz way, then you throw some tomato paste in it as well.
Yeah, I don't do that. I don't do that. I'm onions, beer, sauerkraut, and mustard. Those are the only those are the only four things that touch my brats. That's it.
Okay, don't touch my brats.
Don't touch my brats.
Don't touch
Yeah, you don't touch my brats. There you go.
So
anyway, all right. And Brian just said, "Don't eat White Castle." There you go.
Is that? Are you saying you don't eat it, or are you telling it, or are you warning everybody?
yeah. That's a good question.
Just
Are you saying you don't eat White Castle, or we shouldn't eat White Castle?
It's a public service.
I mean, it could be either. It could be both.
Brian Boak with a PSA.
Yeah. I have to admit, I haven't eaten White Castle. I haven't had like a White Castle rat burger. In no offense to White Castle, that's what we call them. That's what everybody calls them.
We call them rat burgers, and if
right.
that's the case, rats are fucking delicious.
Right. But I haven't eaten an actual White Castle burger in, geez, it's got to be, I don't know, 10 years, maybe a little less, somewhere in there, right? So last time I had one, and it was just because I was passing one that was open late at night, and I was starving. So I got a couple.
I think I got a.
I got a sack.
For me,
I didn't get a crave case. I got a sack.
Yeah, don't touch his brats. Don't touch his sack.
Exactly. Touch my sack. But I was gonna say I do. Brian said, "Well, I'll put them up in a minute." But I do eat once a year at and I've talked about it on the show before. My fire department, my old company in North Arlington fire department, our Thanksgiving get together. We have that's the stuffing. They take White Castle burgers and they make stuffing out of it and stuff the turkey, and which
makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. For me, I think for White Castles, I think it's been 3 months.
Mm-hmm. Well, there you go.
I have to eat them every now and then.
I know. I look. I haven't not eaten them because I didn't want to. I just haven't had the.
You don't have a lot near you.
Accessible. There's not a lot down here. There's more up by you.
I can walk to one.
I was going to say there's so many in North Jersey. There's very few down here.
I can walk to one.
Rat burgers, and then he said, got some good honey mustard at Peddler's Village Saturday. Yes, we do want to remember what you did at Peddler's Village, because I actually have a couple of questions about that, but let's save it for your show when you come on when we do the tailgate show before football season starts. And then he also said, last time I had fast food was 44 years ago. Kudos to you.
There's only two places that I get fast food.
Mm-hmm.
White Castle, and there's usually beer involved. And if it wasn't so hot, maybe I'd walk there after the show. But the other, every now and then, I have to have a Whopper.
You know what? Here's the thing. I love Whoppers. I love Big Macs.
I don't love Big Macs. The only thing about McDonald's that I will eat will be the fries. That's it.
Well, yeah, of course. And
they used to have,
hopefully now they're going back to the beef tallow too, but that's besides the point.
Well, they used to do the friggin' the third pound burgers,
mm-hmm.
and they did this mushroom Swiss burger, which was actually a great burger.
It was good. It was good. I had it. It was good.
You know why the third pound burgers failed?
Why?
Because as Americans, we're morons and can't do fractions. Everyone thought a third pound burger was smaller than a quarter pound. This is why
I don't want 3 is smaller than 4.
Exactly.
I want a quarter pound burger. I don't want that tiny third pound burger.
Imagine if this country went metric. If this country ever went metric, there is probably a good 75% of this population that could not cope with that.
Yeah, you're right. You're not wrong.
They can't deal with fractions. How are they going to do with metric? Metric's easy. It's real friggin' easy.
What are you gonna go out into space on fractions? What are you gonna go 1/4? And
very nice.
Kudos to anybody who comments in what that was from. Now.
Not now.
That was a hint.
Not happening now.
Anyway, no, I used to treat myself for years. Christmas shopping, like the Friday before Christmas, whether Christmas, well, unless Christmas is on a Saturday, I'm not going out.
The Friday before.
The Friday before, like if Christmas Eve was a Friday or Christmas Eve was a Saturday, If Christmas Eve was a Saturday, it was the day before, right? But if Christmas Eve was a Friday, it was the week before, right? So the Friday before, I went out and I finished my Christmas shopping. That was I had to be done by then, whatever it was, right? And I went out and I got whatever little bit left I had to do, right? But I would always treat myself. I would stop at McDonald's. I would get one Big Mac. I would get one large fry, and I would get a vanilla milkshake. Those three things.
And you dip the fries in the shake.
Of course. But I would those three things, and I would pull over in the lot, and I would eat them in the car, and I would listen to the radio, and eat it. That was my treat. That was the only time of the year I had McDonald's.
Actually,
the only time of the year I had McDonald's.
There is another fast food I will eat every now and then. I will probably once a year. I'll get a Baconator.
You know what I do? The only fast food I eat now, and it's not even wrong. Jess and I were just talking about this today. The only fast food I eat these days and for years now, Chick-fil-A and Wendy's. That's it.
So I won't eat.
Occasionally, if I'm in Brick, driving down Brick Boulevard, and I'm hungry, I might swing into the only Roy Rogers that I know of in the state.
It's one well-known in Jersey. You got to get the roast beef.
And get the roast beef, yeah. And put a shit ton of horseradish.
Yep, no
sauce.
Horsey sauce.
Horsey sauce, yeah.
Horsey sauce.
Yep.
No, but Wendy's, you get the Baconator, and you get the Frosty and the fries. You dip the fries in the Frosty.
Dip the fries in the Frosty.
You got to do it. You got to do it.
All right, let's do our top three. I just finished my third. I need to have a fourth.
Oh, you're gonna make me.
But here's my fourth, and I don't even have a crawl for it, so I'm just going to show it. A friend of mine gave me one of these. It's just a shorty. It's a set.
That's what she said.
It's the newest thing from. Seriously, it's the newest thing from New Belgium Brewing. It's Voodoo Ranger Juice Force. So it's a hazy imperial IPA. It's a 9.5% IPA, but it's in a 7.5 ounce can. It's not even an 8 ounce can.
You know what that looks like?
7.5
Remember
ounce
the
can.
cans that tomato juice came in?
No, you know what this looks like? It looks like the can. It looks like the 12 ounce can that Andre the Giant was holding.
Oh man. Okay, let me see. What am I going to grab out of here?
Grab something out of here. Boat.
Boat.
Have a boat.
No, I'm not going to have a boat. This is what I'm going to do.
What are you going to do?
Well, the fox farm with a fox farm. Oh, no. I know what I'm going to do.
I'm following an IPA with an IPA. So
you do that. I know what I'm going to do. Because you're following an IPA with an IPA. I don't have another hoppy. I'm running out of room for my empty glasses here.
You must have cut down a lot of the beer that you brought back from Rhode Island, though.
No. Because remember, I've cut down what I've drank.
Right.
On a regular basis, so I still got a lot of it, and I still got my Tavour is going to be here in about a week. No, what I'm doing here.
My latest Tavour box is sitting right there.
Oh, you just got it?
Just got it. Yeah.
Mine's coming. Oh
my God! What'd you pour? I'm jealous now. I just poured 7.5 ounces of an IPA. What did you pour there? Oh, nice. Very, very nice.
Okay, so Tragbar. This is Culane's Hound. So this is Culane is Cuchulainn. He's one of the he's one of the Irish heroes per se from the Tuatha. That's their gods. And this is a peanut butter milk stout. Now the thing about New England is Gunner's daughter made everybody there have to make a peanut butter stout. And holy shit. John, smell this. Holy hell. So Tragmar.
I can't, speaking of Gunner's daughter, I can't wait to get up to Mass Landing
with a BLT.
In 4 weeks to have a BLT.
There's just a BLT. So Culane's Hound. So Tragmar.
4 weeks from today, I will be at Mass Landing.
So that's awesome. But Tragmar, they are in Six Pack Brewing's old space. So Mark, when I lived in Rhode Island, I would
You went by Mark, and Mark never came on the show. We never got him.
No, we tried to get him on the show, but so Six Pack folded, and Tragmar took their place. But Mark's there all the time anyway. Mm-hmm. So when Carrie and I was there, they said I was actually sitting in Mark's seat. when I start, like, it's funny you're sitting in a seat and you know him. But he's very much I texted him after we left, and he said he's very much in support of them. He likes to go to make sure that they're not fucking up his equipment. They're doing some pretty good stuff, and if this tastes half as good as it smells, I'll be disappointed. But still,
Is that one of those beers that you don't want to drink because if you
Exactly.
drink it, because if you drink it, the smell will go away?
Yes.
Mm.
And it may not taste as good as it smells. This beer is, oh my god, the smell of this thing. I have to say something for Carrie. She'll kill me if I don't.
Save a little for you.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna dive in. How's your beer, by the way?
My beer is actually pretty good. It definitely is misleading. It's 9.5%. It's a 9.5%. Hazy Imperial IPA. 7.5 ounces of it. That's so small, but this does not taste like a 9.5% beer.
No. Okay. See, I asked you that just to delay me having to taste this.
Go for it.
That's lovely.
It's lovely.
Oh my god, this is So milk stouts usually do have a pretty decent body to them.
Sure, of course.
But they're not known to be viscous by any means.
No. Just that they're little. They got a nice velvety mouthfeel, but they're not like viscous by any means.
This is thicker than most. Oh, and I put this in another Duvel art glass. This is my favorite one, the one with the bats. When you pour stout into it, you only see the gold ones until you start to drink.
And then you see everything else.
And then I love drinking stouts out of this glass.
That's great. It's great.
But this is above the mouthfeel that most milk stouts obtain.
Mm-hmm.
This is I still wouldn't call this viscous. It's definitely silky, but like a deep pile silk.
Right.
And I think I wonder if the body is because of the peanut butter powder.
Could be. It could be. I would say it's probably a combination of, it's a milk stout, right? So there's a little bit of lactose in there. So it's probably a combination of the peanut butter powder and the milk, milk sugar.
And the other thing I love about this is it's a milk stout. Mm-hmm. So a lot of your milk stouts don't tend to be overly roasty.
No, not at all. More sweet. It's more sweet.
This is roasty.
Nice. You want that? The roast with the peanut butter is very nice. It's always nice.
Very nice.
Because I got it very nice. Because I'll be honest with you, and you and I have had this conversation many times over the years. I don't like a sweet cloying peanut butter. I like a roasty peanut butter. I want to taste the peanuts. I don't want to taste the sugar with peanut texture.
There's only one ever exception I've ever had to that, because I agree with you 95%, because there's an exception.
Skippy Chunky?
No, Angry Chairs peanut butter fudge brownie.
I was talking about peanut butter. I wasn't even talking about that.
No, but Angry Chair, they do a peanut butter
Skippy. Fudge. No, I grew up on Skippy. I did. And
you know what? We grew up really poor, so I grew up on generic.
I grew up on Skippy, but I can't eat Skippy. It's just too sweet. Now, yes, it is. But I will tell you now, Jif is good. I will eat Skippy Chunky because I love Chunky.
Those are two adjectives.
But the main peanut butter that we get, as funny as it is, and you and I have talked about this before, is Bowl and Basket.
The generic
Bowl and Basket.
I grew up on Pathmark generic. Pathmark generic was just the white label. It just said peanut butter on it.
It's Bowl and Basket. For those of you that don't know, Bowl and Basket is ShopRite.
It's ShopRite's.
It's ShopRite's private label. Now, I'm sure Jif makes Bowl and Basket. Right?
It's very, very possible. Yeah. But I grew up. Well, there was three peanut butters.
It's called white labeling, is what it's called.
Right. And I grew up on three peanut butters as a kid. When my mom went to Pathmark, she'd get the generic, that white label.
Right.
Sometimes she would get the bucket of peanut butter from the PX at Fort Monmouth,
which was on the menu board, which is still at
Bird's Mouth. I told you my first time there when I pulled.
When we walked in. Yeah.
Remember how emotional I got?
Oh yeah.
Because we shopped there all the time. Me and my mom, and My little brother. We got dragged home by the dog once. But the other one was every now and then, my mom wanted to splurge. We get goober grape.
Yeah, scuba grape. Yep, you had to get that. You know what? You know what? I mean, because we
That was
got
an awful peanut butter.
it was like look, we got Skippy creamy, we got Skippy chunky. Like me and my father loved the chunky. My sister and my mother loved the creamy, but I had the creamy too. But we always would make like this thick, a triple decker, like disgusting
On Wonder Bread.
PB and J's on Wonder Bread. Tons of peanut butter, tons of Welch's grape jelly on it,
tons of formaldehyde.
Oh my God, it was just, yeah, it was. There you go. Hold on, I gotta catch up. Brian said Jen loves Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is great. Jess and I go to Chick-fil-A probably once or twice a month. Probably twice every 3 months.
It's great, but you know why I won't.
No, 3 times every 2 months. 3 times.
You know why I won't eat there.
No, I know. But we go there, we eat, we leave. We call it a day.
Frankly, I prefer Popeye's chicken sandwich.
No, Popeye's is good too, but there's more Chick-fil-A's lately. You pass more Chick-fil-A's than you do Popeyes.
Actually, I could walk to a Popeyes.
You can.
Actually, there's a.
Where you are.
What was the German park you were talking about?
Schutzen Park. Oh,
You
there's
know,
Popeyes right there.
Right across the street from it, next
right
to the wall, next to the Walgreens.
Brian said he delayed his Tavor box till he gets back from LBI. He has 21 plus 5 awaiting arrival. That's a big box.
That's what
she said. That's what he said. There you go.
Okay.
Here's and then hold on. Brian said Skippy Creamy 2-pack from Costco. Have a PB and J 3 days a week now. I love a good PB and J. You know what? I probably do a PB and J twice a year.
So I had a PB. You got up your game. I had a PB and J for breakfast. I just toasted bread.
Stop.
What?
For breakfast, you had a PB and J?
Yeah. Well,
no, I've had peanut butter on a piece of bread if I want to fast. Breakfast.
But I do that. But it's peanut butter.
And by the way, I will admit,
jelly on top of it.
I will admit, as whatever adjective you want to call this, I have done this. I've taken a piece of bread, and not Wonder. I haven't eaten Wonder Bread since I was like 15 years old. So, but piece of bread, whether it's 7-grain bread or Dave's. I get Dave's all the time.
Well, that's what we have. That's what I had this morning with peanut butter on top of it.
I get a piece of bread and I slather a bunch of peanut butter on it, and then I sprinkle Honey Nut Cheerios on top of it and eat it. That's
not damn thing wrong with it. Mm-hmm. Usually what I do, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll make toast and I'll put some honey on it, put some peanut butter across the top of it, and then sprinkle the cinnamon. Yeah. But this morning it was the Dave's multigrain bread, peanut butter, and Welch's on top of that. Open face PB and J. Yeah.
Love it. I've done that. That's great.
That was breakfast this morning, as a matter of fact.
Brian says his last big box was 36. Oh no. His last big box was 36. And then he said, Dave's is great.
Your last big box was 36, huh?
My last big box was...
Well, the thing is, you're a bit older than that, so she's a bit younger.
I see where we went there. Anyway, all right.
I've got a joke for you.
Give me the joke. And
it's kind of a dirty joke that falls in line with all this.
Fair enough.
What are 3 words to destroy a man's confidence?
Tiny?
No, it's a 3-word phrase.
Oh, 3-word phrase. You just said 3 words. 3-word phrase.
A woman can say to destroy a man's confidence.
Is it in?
That's it. You know the 3-word phrase to destroy a woman's confidence? I don't know.
Yeah. Love it. That's great.
Oh, that's awful.
Right. That was bad. All right.
Really, really bad.
Okay.
That's what 4 beers will do.
On that note, folks, sorry about that. We can
edit that out.
No. That's staying for all perpetuity. We're gonna move on to our top 3. Actually, no, I got a couple of hot takes.
Okay,
I had a longer list, but I'm going to do a couple of them. Right? This is just for Dave. I'll give him mine. We talked about your favorite blueberry beers.
We done did.
And we done did. We talked about you talked about yours from Coddington. I talked about Bar Harbor. That's your second. I talked about Burst Boston Berg. What's your favorite beer with blueberries in it that's not a blueberry ale?
Oh, that's easy. Beauregard.
Beauregard?
Oh, hell yeah. The brewery's Beauregard is one of the best alcoholic uses of blueberry in the history of blueberries.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't understand where they get the name Beauregard from, you're not thinking hard enough or you're the wrong generation.
Violet Beauregard, yeah.
Violet, you're turning violet.
You're turning violet, Violet.
It's meatloaf and gravy. Oh, here's the mashed potatoes. Oh, and green beans. Oh, here comes dessert.
Here comes dessert.
Blueberry
pie. Yeah, it's the original 1971
Willy Wonka and
the Chocolate Factory. There you go. So yeah, you're not wrong. That's the beer with blueberries. That's not a blueberry ale. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
It's a blueberry sour.
That exactly. Yeah.
And my number 2 would probably come from Dark Horse in Michigan. Their blueberry stout.
Yeah. The blueberry stout's good. Somewhere in my top 5. I'm not sure where I'd put it. But just to give a nod to Jersey, I would say, because it's different now. The brand sold, but when it was still what it was originally, the Flying Fish Exit 3, the blueberry braggot, yeah. The blueberry
and let's not forget Carton's Tangled Up.
And Carton's Tangled Up in blue, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just called Tangled Up.
Tangled Up. I have to say in blue,
yeah,
please.
But
I have to pay homage to Robert Zimmerman and Robert Zimmerman and what's his face? What's his name? What's his face?
Bernie Taupin?
No, Bernie Taupin.
Sorry, but no, that was a blueberry Berliner Weiss.
Yes, Tangled Up in Blue was.
I'm sorry, Berliner Highlander Weiss.
It wasn't a Berliner Highlander. It was just a Highlander Weiss. Blueberry Highlander Weiss. Yeah.
Blueberry Highlander Weiss.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but in any event, so there's that. Now, my number 2 hot take for you is: what is your favorite flavor of ice pop? Not necessarily freezer pop, but ice. Whether it's Italian ice, freezer pop, what's your favorite flavor? Is it cherry like you talked about before? Or is it
no? I said chocolate earlier.
Okay.
But as I got older, it actually turned to coconut.
Okay.
Coconut,
you like coconut? No.
No. When I was younger,
they don't have a maple ice. That's my problem.
Yes, they do in Canada.
Canada, right?
In Canada.
In Canada, right?
So a buddy of mine, when we were younger, high school or in college, we would drive around, and Froze Fruits makes a coconut.
Froze Fruits coconut is fantastic.
And we drove all over the place looking for this. We wound up in Pennsylvania.
I love Froze Fruit coconut.
It's one of the greatest things. And we finally gave up after making the Pennsylvania.
There were pieces of coconut in it.
Yes, there's shreds of coconut, real coconut. And so we gave up. So on the way back, we are probably a quarter of a mile.
I can still feel the pieces of coconut in my mouth eating a frozen fruit coconut.
We're about a quarter mile from his house. We stop at the 7-Eleven near his house just to, I forget the hell what we were grabbing. And I look in the case, in the frozen case line.
And there you go.
I went, they have the frozen fruit coconut. We drove
all over. It was right there.
Probably about 150 miles where all we had to do was walk down his block.
That's great. That's gotta love it. Yeah, honestly, ice wise, and this, I hearken this back to probably like late, like 11, 12, 13 years old. Do you remember boysenberry?
I love boysenberry.
I love that for some reason any flavor that I want, anything I like. If I see boysenberry, I'm getting it.
Well, it's interesting that you say that because one of my favorite things when my son and I went to Yellowstone,
Mm-hmm.
we came across huckleberry.
Nice.
And I'm a huge fan of huckleberry. And
Ironically, I'm a huge fan of Huckleberry Hound. Huckleberry mints. Yeah,
I got some huckleberry hints here. We came back with a bunch of huckleberry mints, and I got a couple of these when Carrie and I were in Utah, and I sent some to my son. One of my favorite ice creams I ever had was in West Yellowstone in Montana.
Mm-hmm.
It was huckleberry lavender ice cream.
Nice.
So good.
Nice.
So
Very nice.
good.
Very nice. Very nice. Brian just said
No,
third beer.
That's about 15 minutes ago.
Oh yeah, was it that long ago?
No, it wasn't that long ago, but it was a while back.
It was a little bit. It was 2112. So
Jeez, John,
we are the priests of the temples of Syrinx for any of that knows. Anyway,
not a show goes by he won't mention Rush.
I got to mention Rush. Well, 2112. I mean, if it was 2111 or 2113, I wouldn't have said anything. But it was 2112 that he made.
I had a friend whose ATM pin was 2112 because he was that big.
There you go.
I won't say who it was.
His third beer was.
It's not John.
It's not me.
Wink, wink. It's not John. No, I don't know his pin anyway.
It's not me. Yeah, it's not mine. 2112 is not mine. But not that I give it out if it was. But anyway, Brian said third beer, Folks beer, wooden beanie, which was fantastic. David, I had that a couple weeks ago. We'll talk about that. And Brian just said Rush. There you go. Absolutely.
What, like a fraternity or something? What are you talking about?
No, I think he's talking about the band that I was.
The power trio, right?
We are the priests of the temples of. I want to make a beer called Temples of Syrinx.
There you go. It's got a nautical reference.
I'm curious. Yeah, no.
That nautical reference. This is the power trio from Kenyatta that we previously mentioned, where John can get his maple ice if he wants.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Because they will. They will put maple on everything up there.
100%.
It's what they do. It's their thing. It's their lane. It's what is this? Oh no, that's not that's a prescription sitting on my desk. It's not. It's notes I made for myself.
There are no
beers named that.
There are 2 homebrews named Temples of Syrinx.
Okay, so it's a nautical reference, so you can do it for Coastal Brewworks.
Mm-hmm.
Temple of Syrinx.
Temples of Syrinx.
So it needs to be like a peach gummy sour.
Oh yeah, Matt's gonna brew a peach gummy sour.
Well, they're those rings. They're rings. The peach rings.
Actually, you know what? We've brewed a couple of IPAs that actually tasted like peach rings, so we could just do that.
There you go.
So anyway, fair enough. All right,
moving on.
The third day was National Video Game Day, but we're not going to do a hot take for that. We're just going to move on to
the top 3.
Our top 3 list. Our top 3 list tonight is top 3 favorite console video games.
Because we were talking about doing top 3 favorite arcade games, but
we already did that.
We've done that. We did that already. It's funny because we said that. I started researching that. I started writing things down. Like, I remember writing this list already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did this. So we went to console video games,
which I'm absolutely fine with doing.
Geez, are all of your sports?
One of them sports.
I know one of them sports. I know, but I pretty much figure out which one of them is. Mm-hmm. So we talk about consoles. We're talking about the NES. We're talking about the Sega. There was the Coleco. Remember the Coleco?
I never had. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. Yes, I remember Coleco. We'll talk about it in a minute. But go ahead.
My brother had the Coleco. I hated the control because there was that kind of like dial thing on it, and I was never any good at it. My brother had the Coleco, so he kicked my ass and everything because he was so used to that dial. I wasn't.
I had a bunch of my friends had Atari. My cousin had Atari. Whatchamacallit? I had the first one I had was Intellivision. Remember Intellivision?
I remember Intellivision, yeah.
We
had one of those. The first one we had was Pong.
The first one I had was Pong. Yes, the first one I had was Pong.
So we're just going to give Pong as a given.
Pong is an honorable mention for both of us.
Yeah, because it's historic. It started everything. Um,
But I had in television, and I went from in television. I went to ColecoVision, and the great thing about ColecoVision was I loved the games. It was great, right? And there was other controllers. It was the one that the joystick for the Atari, which I liked. I in television had the pads, right? So it had the
and I hated
circular
that
pad on the
pad.
bottom. It was
Yeah.
it was a pain in the ass,
That wheel.
right?
Yeah.
The wheel on the bottom, right? But uh, um, ColecoVision had the knob, right, and it
Yeah.
had the keypad, but it had other controllers too because you could buy cartridge converters, and you could also play not only play your ColecoVision games, but you could play your Intellivision games and your Atari games in ColecoVision, and it had the appropriate controllers for those games.
Yes.
So I actually sold to a friend of mine my Intellivision, and I had my ColecoVision, and I got the controllers. I used the money from selling my Intellivision to buy the controllers and the converters and everything else. So I was able to play Intellivision, Atari, and ColecoVision on my ColecoVision. So
Which was, you could not ever do anything like that today. Everything is so proprietary.
Yeah.
It would never allow you to do something like that. So what I did with this is I ruled out anything that was actually an arcade game that was moved to console. And I only went with those things that I actually, and also some of these you could play on a computer. So I only went with those things that I actually played on a console. So, even though you could play 1942 on a console, it was an arcade game. So, I didn't include that. And for console, I also didn't include handhelds like a Game Boy or the what was the Sony one?
PlayStation.
Because God of War, I played God of War on PlayStation. Oh, and a quick aside about the PlayStation. One time my boys were over, and they're playing on my PlayStation, and they start fighting over the damn thing. And I still have a lot of cartridges for that PlayStation. But I don't, not the PlayStation. The handheld was not called PlayStation, was it? What was
the handheld? Game Boy.
No. The Sony.
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh, but it was a handheld thing. So God of War, I played God of War on that. But they're fighting over the damn thing. And they had me so pissed off that I grabbed it, and in front of them, I snapped the thing in half. Now, I don't know if you know this thing, but this thing was beefy. So to this day, they still talk about it, how Father was able to do that. But at any rate, so do I have any honorable mentions on this? I actually do. My honorable mention is a nod to one of the fucking originals. Remember Atari Adventure?
Oh yeah.
With those dragons that look like ducks.
Yep.
And you had to get the keys. So there's my honorable mention. But my number 3 wasn't. I believe this was an Atari. Was Pitfall. Remember Pitfall?
It's on my list, but go ahead.
If you didn't hit that alligator just right, you got eaten.
And by the way, who did in 1982, 81, 82, who did the commercial for Atari Pitfall?
Oh, I don't remember that.
Hold on. Keep talking about Pitfall for a second, and I'll pull the picture up.
Well, Pitfall was one of those left to right games. And it wasn't one of those that actually scrolled once you got past, when you made it from the left side of the screen to the right side of the screen, be it swinging over tar pits, jumping across alligator heads, whatever it is you had to do, and you went off the right side of the screen, you had the new screen. So there's not much more I can say about Pitfall, John.
I'm pulling it up here. I just can't put it.
Well, you know what? You have more time. You got to vamp because I.
Oh, here you go. No, I'm good.
Because I got to pee really, really bad.
There you go. No, you got to look at it. That was the kid that did the Pitfall commercial. You muted your.
And who was that?
Do you recognize him?
No.
That's Jack Black.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Yeah, I can't hold this any longer. I'll be right back.
All right, I'll vamp for a second. Go ahead. So, Dave's going to go to the bathroom. Okay, he's been doing the bio dance. I guess that's nicer than saying PP dance, right? But he's been doing the bio dance for about 15 minutes now. So he clearly didn't empty the tank prior to the show. Don't worry, folks. If you're still watching, we're almost done. Once we finish this list, we're done. So anyway, yeah, I need to eat dinner, and it is 9:27. We'll be going for an hour and 54 minutes for just the two of us. And I'll put up Brian's comment here. He said, "Since I'm older than you guys, I never had video games. We went to an arcade that my friend worked at, and he always opens them up and rang up credits." Brian, I will tell you this now, and Dave will probably agree with me. We did too. I probably spent more time at arcades, and the biggest one, the main one that I spent the most time at was Fun and Games in the Willowbrook Mall in Wayne. More so than at home, playing video games at home, and playing the video games. I'll do that in a second. Whatchamacallit, playing. Look at his comment. You back, Dave? You didn't say it. He said, since I'm older than you guys, I never had video games. We went to an arcade. I said we went to arcades too. Or I went to arcades.
Oh yeah, no, we've already.
I spent more time in arcades playing video games than I did at home, right? But we just had them at home too. And I said the main one I went to was Fun and Games in Wayne in the Willowbrook Mall.
Oh God, I remember that one. But I also went to the one at Seaview Square.
Yep, yeah, there was one in Seaview Square,
and also all the ones on the boardwalk, Seaside.
Of course, there was always arcades. Yeah, I mean everything on the boardwalk.
You got to remember, I lived down there, so
you could play video games, and you could and walk over and play skee ball and everything else too, and wheels and everything else.
And
but then Brian said, "Don't I count?"
Definitely. Well, the thing is, you've got fingers and toes, so we assume you can.
I'm assuming you mean you definitely count. We definitely.
Oh, do you matter?
Do you matter? You definitely matter.
Yeah, please. Of course you matter.
We did. I'm just saying we concur with you. We spent more time at arcades than we did at home.
But you got to remember, Brian,
we just happen to have an arcade, a video game system.
But you also remember, we're also kind of excluding a generation because, well, no, they still do have consoles so much, but so much of it now is just online gaming.
There's a lot of online gaming, yeah, exactly. And Brian, yes, you are a few years older than us, but yeah, no, it look, you didn't have Pong. I mean, that would have been cool. But yeah, it was all arcades basically back then. And he said Aladdin's Castle was his.
I remember that one.
Remember Aladdin's Castle, absolutely. And the comment about only the two of you.
Not sure what he means by that.
I don't remember what I said. I apologize. So if one of us said something about the two of us and not including you 100% count. In fact, I will go out on a limb to say you count more than either of the two of us. So there you go. So
yes, definitely. By counting years, he does.
Anyway, he says his grandson is very into online gaming.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's all about online gaming now.
Yeah, we just got. So back to my top.
Pitfall. Yeah, Jack Black was the face of Pitfall back.
That's pretty cool. I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna jump. I'm not sure. This is gonna be 3, 2, 1, but it's more chronological than favorite, because I'm gonna jump up to the NES, and the NES, that was Zelda for me. And for Zelda, the Ocarina of Time was my favorite iteration of Zelda. Right. What was it? What was the phrase? Take this, you'll. Wow, I forgot the big phrase. Take this, you'll need it. Usually, at one point, they're holding up a pig and doing that. But Zelda was one of the first. That and the first Final Fantasy. It was some of the the first adventure games where you had to solve this before you could move on to this section and all that. So Zelda: The Ocarina of Time is my number 2. My number 1 is now moving on to the Sega Genesis, and their big franchise was Sonic the Hedgehog. My favorite iteration of that was Sonic and Knuckles. Yeah, and it's. And it's funny because I did not mention Mario, on the NES. That was their big franchise. I really did enjoy Sonic more. The pace of it was a lot faster. Okay, the music wasn't as good. The music on
Oh hell no.
but I like the pace a lot more. And it put in a lot of those hidden areas as well that Mario had made famous. So the gameplay, I like the gameplay a lot.
Cool. All right, I will. Let's start here by saying I will concur with you on Pitfall, and it already was an honorable mention of mine. I didn't make it an honorable mention because you mentioned it for your number 3.
Okay.
It was already an honorable mention of mine. So Pong is both honorable mentions, but yours was Avenger. Atari, Pitfall on the Atari was my other honorable mention. Hold on 1 second. I need to do something here. There we go. My number 3. I'm actually going chronologically backwards, but not too much backwards. My number 3 is actually something I played with my son, my older son, years ago.
Can I guess? Can I guess?
Go ahead.
Is it Madden?
No.
Oh. No. Is it on your list?
No, Madden's not on my list.
Madden's not on your list?
I rarely played Madden. A couple of times, and I was kidding, by the way, when I had sports on it. There's no sports on this list.
Interesting.
My number 3 was on Super Nintendo. It wasn't NES. It was Super Nintendo.
Okay.
Right. Now Glenn loved Zelda, but I played that with him, but he played that a lot on his own, and it was on Super NES. But the one we played together a lot was Super Mario. Yeah, and it was that
and I purposely left it off my list because I thought it might be on yours.
Yeah, Super Mario was my number 3. Now I'm going all the way back to like 30 years before that. After I mentioned before I had ColecoVision, and I did that. After that, I bought myself I bought myself a Commodore 64.
I had the VIC-20. Well, the thing is, it's funny that you bring this up because I was pondering that. Do they count as consoles?
Well, yeah, because they had video games. They were computers too.
They were personal computers.
They were PCs, but they were hybrids, right? Because they weren't.
Well,
it wasn't. Here's the thing.
You can't call them hybrids because
they were hybrids. I'm going to tell you
why. Hybrid insinuates that they came after. They came before, and things split out of them.
Well, this is true too, but I'm going to tell you why I feel the way I do about the Commodore 64. It was not a computer that had computer games, because these were not on, and the Commodore 64 had a floppy disk drive.
It did.
Okay.
And the VIC-20 had a cassette.
Also had
a cassette. And
a cassette drive. I had a cassette drive for the Commodore 64 too, but it had cartridges. And
which the VIC-20 did as well.
The game cartridges, the game cartridges. That's where I'm saying it was a console, because it just had a cartridge. Boom. It was a video.
It was more than console, because I struggle with this because
it was a console and a computer in one. Because I actually learned Pro-DOS programming. I did. I learned Pro-DOS programming, which was Apple.
I'm surprised that on Commodore 64 you didn't learn MIDI.
Well, yeah, no, of course. But
Commodore 64 was the machine for MIDI.
Well, and it had MIDI ports on the back of it. But my point is, Pro-DOS was what Apple IICs, Apple IIes, the pre-Macintosh Apples were Pro-DOS computers. All right. And I didn't learn Pro-DOS on an Apple IIc or an Apple IIe. I learned Pro-DOS on a Commodore 64.
Because of the precursor to it. And I had the VIC-20. VIC-20 ran on BASIC.
Sure. Yeah. No, it did.
And my favorite cartridge game to play on that was Tron.
Tron was great. But like I said, because they had cartridges as well, that's why I considered it a hybrid. Anyway, so back to my list. My number 2 and my number 1 are both Commodore 64 games. Ones I played on, yeah. And my number 2 is Donkey Kong.
Okay, yes.
Because I played 1 million hours of Donkey Kong in arcades, but I was able to play it at home too.
It's interesting. Okay, go ahead with your number 1.
And my number 1 was something that was only a video game on the Commodore 64, as far as I know. It may have been something else. I don't think it was. It was only a video game that was proprietary to Commodore 64, at least that I saw. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And if I am, I'll admit it because I don't know of any. I never knew of any other system that had this particular game on it.
Okay.
Load Runner.
Load Runner.
Load Runner. That was I played that game for so many hours. It was ridiculous.
I think I remember that game. Interesting. Now, a buddy of mine, he had a Coco.
Okay. By the way, Rod J just chimed in. Cheers, fellas. Cheers, Rod.
Cheers, Rod.
Cheers, Rod.
Oh, Rod's of our generation. Come on.
Absolutely.
Rod. You played some console video games.
You played some console video games.
But he had a Coco.
Mm-hmm.
And even before that, he had a Trash 80, a TRS 80. We all call them Trash 80s.
Radio Shack. It's Radio Shack.
Radio Shack. It's Tandy. That's what Tandy Radio Shack, TRS. That's what
Tandy,
TRS stood for.
Tandy Radio Shack, TRS. Trash 80.
And on his Trash 80 is when we started playing Tetris that long ago.
Sure.
Granted, there was no Russian music behind it at the time. Mm-hmm. There was no music to it at all. But that's where we started playing it.
I'm gonna pull this up. Let's see if I can pull this up.
There were so many cool things to play back in the day.
Now this is Load Runner.
Oh,
okay. So it was
Donkey Kong.
It was Donkey Kong-esque.
Yeah.
All right, but I loved it more than Donkey Kong.
Okay, Rod, what console games do you still play? Because he said yes, and he still does.
Yes, and he still does. There you go.
Want to know what you're playing here? I don't play console. You know why I don't play console games anymore? The controller.
By the way, go ahead.
The controllers got too expensive.
Well, yeah.
To replace.
I just want to point this out. Think about what.
Let me finish what I'm saying before you.
Oh no, I thought you were done. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, they became too expensive to replace because so when they recorded, that was one thing. Mm-hmm. When they became cordless, they could reach a velocity that when they hit a wall, the number of pieces that these things would break into, you could put them together again.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times on the NES I was able to put that controller back together.
You're not wrong. Because I put it together constantly. Yeah.
But my Sega, the Sega was cordless. I went through so many Sega controllers that I finally said I can't afford to do a console anymore.
Whatchamacallit, I just want to point one thing out, and I agree with you 100%. You're absolutely right. They were, you get pissed off, you throw it, it breaks. Most of the time, you're able to put it back together, but when you couldn't, you had to buy a new one. But I just want to point this out. Think about not even just Gen Z, Gen Alpha, what they're playing these days in online gaming and everything else. The graphics, everything about the video game.
It's like playing in a movie now.
Right. Imagine any of them playing that.
Trying to play that. Well, put up Rod's comment because he's the game that he says he plays.
And he says
it's like being.
He says he has a PS5.
Yep.
And he still plays, and he plays Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Played the most currently. There you go.
I used to play Call of Duty.
And how am I in tune with what he said? I didn't say COD or COD or I knew it was Call of Duty. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I played 1 and 2. By the time they got to 3, it got beyond my capabilities. My oldest son, though, he's seriously into Call of Duty.
Big Call of Duty guy.
The one game that I didn't put on there that is played on the console, but I play it on the computer. And I still play it to this day. I play it with my kids.
Minecraft.
Minecraft. I still have. Speaking of Jack Black, I have not watched the movie.
My son, my younger son, he never played. He played Minecraft a little bit. My nephew plays Minecraft constantly, and he's 12 now, and he still plays it.
Well, I know my daughter plays it. My boys played it. My daughter actually plays Roblox more than Minecraft. But we would play Minecraft together. We'd play Minecraft together. You know what we used to do in Minecraft?
What's that?
We used to geocache in Minecraft.
Nice.
We would hide them. We would do hides, we'd put down one of the chests, we'd fill it full of stuff, and then we'd give hints as to where it might be. And we would actually geocache in Minecraft.
Nice.
No, we have a lot of fun Minecraft. We haven't played it together in a while, though. We got to get back to it.
All right. This was a fun show.
We had some fun. We drank some
fun
beer.
Show. It's definitely a fun show. It's one of our longer, just the two of us shows.
It is.
And it's because of your comments that we were able to keep it going this long.
Yeah, thanks, folks. Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Rod.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Rod. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
We appreciate it.
And before, when Mark came on, he's got the same last name as someone that I knew in Rhode Island, so I thought it was him. So I said it's weird that I'm drinking an Origin and McAteer.
And it's McAteer.
But it's Rob McAteer. So.
Yeah, and then Brian Boakes just said, I used to play Minecraft and Roblox. Yeah, Roblox with his grandson. Yeah, and Thomas plays that too. He plays Minecraft now. He used to play Roblox a lot. But yeah, 100%.
I still enjoy Minecraft.
No, I've played a bunch with him. I've played it a few times. And Rod, always great seeing you both. Rod, I'm actually going to reach out to you because I want to schedule on a show. Reach out to you. I'll message you in about 10 minutes. So watch out for
when John says 10 minutes, you know it's
no, shut your nose. It's going to be 10 minutes. Rod, I'll mention you. I'll message you in about 10 minutes, and we'll set something up. But in any event, on that note, we want to thank everybody for paying attention to the show today. It's been fun. It's like I said, it's one of our longer, just the two of us shows. We had a lot of fun, but we'll wrap up the show for today. On that note, we want to thank everybody for watching. And for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.loggerroom.com. That's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Logger Room. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Twitch every Tuesday night around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on our audio host, Spreaker, as well as iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Odyssey, Audible, Pandora, Amazon Music Podcast. I'm sorry. This is going to deduct me about 20 points tonight. I looked away and I lost my place. I'm sorry. iTunes Music, YouTube Music, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, Castbox, Deezer, Podchaser, Listen Notes. Pretty much anywhere you can find audio podcasts, you will find the Logger Room Guys Craft Beer Podcast. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. We will be back next week with a very special show. It's the first ever New Jersey Craft Beer Week. And the executive director of the New Jersey Brewers Guild will be on our show, Bree Devlin.
We're going to have an executive on the show?
An executive will be on the show, yes. First time ever.
That is a first.
There you go.
Oh, we've had boards of directors on.
We've had boards of directors on the show, but not no. Actually, we actually had the current executive director on the show before he was the executive director. But so I can't think we can count that. But
no, we can't.
In any event, but Bree will be on the show next week. We're going to talk about American Color. It's horrible. I was thinking you were going to 6 something. 5'9" it was horrible.
No, because there's a bit of slurring involved here.
Well, never mind. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, Bree will be on the show. It's going to be a great show. Tune in for that. And then the week after that is our annual Christmas in July show. You don't want to miss that show. That's going to be fun. That's going to be a fun show. And we got a lot of other good shows coming up for you. We got shows scheduled all the way. And
only one bad one. Have you ever heard that commercial?
Never. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
But we got great shows scheduled all the way through September right now. So we're set. So
this is, of course, including a week off in August.
This includes a week off in August for vacay. So
where I will be in no shape to do a show.
Dave will be in no shape to do a show. He will be over in Europe. We're taking a week off. There you go. And Dave will be in Europe. I will be at a Mets game.
He'll be at a Mets game, and that Tuesday I will be in Brussels. So
exactly. So,
and I think that's the night we're going to hit Delirium Bar.
Enjoy. And yeah, well, text me from there because it'll be the afternoon. It'll be while I'm driving to Queens. You'll be at night at Delirium Bar. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't expect my texts to make any sense.
I love to read nonsensical text. So, anyway. All right, folks. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. Drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly. And we will talk to you next week. Take care. Cheers.
Cheers, folks.